The summer workouts are over. The scrimmages are done. The Panther Corps, they're right behind us. They've been practicing since June, July. You got the cheerleaders who've been working out all summer. The drill team, the Dreamettes are also ready. The JROTC, everyone's been working hard, and it all leads up to week one of the high school football season. Hello, everybody. Carlos Romero along with Mike Gonzalez, and we are here at McAllen Memorial Stadium, where it will be the Panthers taking on McAllen Rowe, and there's no other place that we would rather be than early on, week one, late in August for the first game of the high school football season, and it's a Thursday night game.
Yeah, absolutely, Carlos. This is 8 months in the making. The last time the Valley had any kind of high school football, first weekend of December, the regional quarterfinal game, the third round, our teams lost, and we had to wait 8 months, spring, summer, and then we had two-a-days. Now, first game is here Thursday night. No other better place to be than here in McAllen.
Seems a little bit different. We're on the road. It is a Thursday night game, but if you're a Panther fan, you got to get used to those Thursday night games because we have, 4 Thursday night games, and we start off here. So it seems a little bit different, here on the road, Mike Gonzalez, but I think the Panthers are ready to go because they look good during their scrimmages.
They did, Carlos. They had their scrimmage. The last scrimmage was last week. Last Thursday looked terrific there, and that gave the team an opportunity to have just a regular off week versus a short week. So I think it worked in their favor here. I think they're going to come into this game well prepared.
One of the bright spots, what everyone is talking about is that defense. They played 2 scrimmages against 3 different teams, PSJ Memorial, Harlingen, and Brownsville Memorial. Only 1 touchdown given up by the defense in those 2 scrimmages against 3 teams.
We're talking about a unit, Carlos, that gave up a lot of big plays last year, and that was something that the coaches wanted to cut down on giving up those big plays. They gave up a long touchdown against Harlingen, but they were able to shut out PSJ Memorial and shut out Brownsville Veterans. That's a team that won district last year, went 10-2, won a playoff game. So, that's a very good sign, Carlos, going into the regular season.
Yeah, the Panthers right now are warming up right here, right around the 30-yard line. Jacob Cavazos leading the charge at quarterback, and running back you saw right there was Kanab. Let's talk a little bit about that offense because they passed the ball a lot during the scrimmages. Remember, just a couple of years ago, it was the Tony Villarreal era, and they were running the ball a lot. Now passing with a spread offense, and Jacob Cavazos looks good.
Absolutely, Carlos. Jacob, bigger, stronger, had a whole off season. Got injured middle of the year, separated shoulder, but he's healthy now, look good. Running the football and throwing the football, has a lot of weapons to use. We saw a lot of big plays. They got the short passing, they got the middle passing, and even the deep passing. And so this offense, if they can stay healthy, Carlos, have an opportunity to score some points this year.
I like the uniforms.
Oh, so do I. I love it.
Dressed in white, outlined in purple. Got the Panther, head on the helmet right there, looking good. Are the Weslaco Panthers talking about their uniforms? They look pretty good.
I do. Yeah, Carlos, I love their uniforms. Solid white all around. A lot of these teams nowadays kind of do that. When they go on the road, they'll wear those solid white all around. Back in the day, they'll have maybe a purple pants down there or maybe a different kind of color here. But I kind of like the direction that Coach Salinas went with the solid white, with the white helmet, and then the Panther little logo there in the middle with the W back there. And it goes very well. That's Weslaco Panther football right there.
That's Devin Denner right there on the catch, the skilled players. A lot of experience at the skilled position. We talked about, before the season started, how, they're trying to get that offensive line together. But at the skilled position, they're pretty much loaded.
Yeah, you're talking about the top 2 receivers in this team back. The top receptions was, I believe, Devin Dana, and Jaden Cavazos led in yardage. So you got 2 playmakers there. And then you have the offensive line that are young. Cody Rodriguez, 6'1", 300 pounds, anchors that all line. And then you got the backfield of Payne Kanab, who played, 3 games last year before he got injured. Looks bigger, looks stronger. And then, of course, you have Jacob Cavazos at quarterback, who got some experience running the football. But I expect him to have a great year tossing the ball as well.
Well, this is Mike Salinas' second year as head coach, and he got the talent returning at the skilled position. You see him right there in the middle of the circle. He's got Jacob Cavazos at quarterback, Jaden Cavazos at wide receiver, Devin Denna, we talked about him, Kanab, and then on the defense, they got some key players that are back, Cesc Sanchez, Marco Noriega at linebacker, and they've been through this system now, Mike. The summer workouts, the offseason, they've learned this playbook, which is very, very important, and what we've heard is that He's very, very methodical about his approach to the game. He talks about unity. He talks about playing with a purpose, and it's not just about winning, but developing the character of these young men. The kids really love him, and that's the style that he has brought to Weslaco. Oh yeah, and he's running the spread offense.
Absolutely. I mean, the spread offense rack up a lot of yards and up tempo. So score a lot of points in his system. We saw him do that at Edinburgh Vela. But yeah, this is a kind of coach, Carlos, that he comes in with a business-like attitude, very humble man. That's the reason why Weslaco ISD brought him. It's all about character, developing his players. I mean, because these are players that are going to graduate one day, that are going to go into college, go into the real world. And what he's trying to develop here is that culture of preparing these kids for real life, in addition to winning some football games.
Yeah, we still got about 20 minutes till kickoff. We'll go ahead and keep it here on the K-West pregame show. Weslaco High School taking on McAllen Rowe. Thursday night football, week 1 of the high school football season. And the McAllen Rowe Warriors, a team that went to the playoff a couple of years. Mike, tell us a little bit more about them.
Yes, Carlos. This is a team that has gone back on the map, Carlos, as far as respectability. They were down early in the decade. They brought in Bobby Flores from McAllen. He's a product from McAllen ISD. Actually comes from a family tree, Carlos, where his father is Robert Flores, a legendary basketball coach here at McAllen ISD. And then he has another brother named Ronnie Flores, who's an assistant football coach at PSJA North. And another brother named Ryan Flores, who is also the McAllen High basketball coach. So when it comes to developing kids, when it comes to varsity coaching, he knows all about it. And he's now entering his third year with the Rowe Warriors, has made the playoffs both times, has a record of 14-8. You include the 2 playoff games now. It's about going to the next level with these guys, and a couple of players to keep an eye on, Carlos, starting with Jonas Ortiz. Young man as a sophomore last year, became the starter in the middle of the season, threw for 1,800 yards, 17 touchdowns, stands at 6'3", 190 pounds. I saw him on the field, Carlos, and he's a big boy. Yeah. And so they expect a lot of great things from him. And they also have a couple of players that are going to play both sides of the ball. That's Angel Rodriguez, Noe Ramirez, both slot receivers, also play defensive backs, all district players last year, and have a lot of speed, including a guy named Adrian Salinas, who is just joining the football team, but is an anchor on the relay team. And so when you talk about speed, that's the McAllen Rowe Warriors there, and they have a lineman that plays a tackle, Rico Davila, who is a college prospect who stands at about 6'3", 6'4", about 290, plays a strong side in this offense. And so, look out for him in this offense.
Yeah, they got a couple of players there with some size. They obviously got some speed. Anytime you got track players on the football team, that means you definitely have a lot of speed. I remember the days when Bucky Rodriguez was there in the 90s. Yes. Started the tradition of McAllen Rowe. And then also I remember Javier Obregón of 2012. So it seems like they're continuing on with the winning tradition at McAllen Rowe.
Yeah, exactly, Carlos. And again, this was a school that had some down years. McAllen Memorial, McAllen High dominated the city. But now Rowe, is back on the map, and they're just hoping to continue that what Coach Flores has started, and maybe enhance it and take it to the next level.
A playoff team maybe this year?
I think so. This is a team that's predicted to make the playoffs. Finished second last year. McAllen Memorial is a favorite in this district. They gave them a pretty good game last year. Mac High is expected to also contend for the playoffs, but they do have this squad up there in the standings. So this is a good challenge for Weslaco High tonight.
It is going to be a tough 30, a 6A district for McAllen Rowe, because of McAllen Memorial is just so good. They are loaded once again. So it's going to be tough for them to win district, but they're going to definitely be very competitive. So let's talk a little bit about, let's move on now about competition and the non-district schedule for the Panthers. So every year, you have the realignment, and there's every 2 years, there's a realignment. So this year, it's going to be a little bit different, playing McAllen Rowe. I don't know when the last time is Wesco played McAllen Rowe in a non-district game, but McAllen Rowe at Cal Chelsea. Talk to us a little bit about the non-district schedule.
Yeah, exactly, Carlos. So Coach Salinas, when he took over the Panthers last year, the schedule was already set because it was the second year of the last realignment. So you had George Ranch on the schedule. They didn't play that game, and then they had San Antonio Marshall. So what he decided to do is just kind of go back to just staying here in the Valley, play local teams, play maybe a rivalry game here. So we have McAllen Rowe tonight, which is a pretty good competition. They're a playoff team last year. You have at Cal Chelsea, 5-5 last year. You have a little Mid-Valley rivalry there. Missed the playoffs last year. And then you have a pair of teams that went 2-8 last year that are kind of trying to get things started again. We got PSGA North, and then you have Harlingen South. And I really like what Coach Salinas did there because, last year was a rebuilding year for the program. And so I think what he's trying to do here is just bring in some good competition, which I think he did, with an opportunity to not only be in the games but win them, Carlos. So this is a chance for the program to perhaps go 3-1, 4-0, and I think he's looking for momentum and to stay healthy going into district play.
Yeah, it really starts tonight, taking on McAllen Rowe as we continue on with the first week or the first game of the season festivities. Week 1, the captains are coming out right now, right behind us, in order for the coin flip in the middle of the game. Very winnable games. If you take a look, it's some very competitive teams, but some winnable games for the Weslaco Panthers early on in the season.
Yeah, Carlos, and I mean, last year in the grueling 32-6A, the Panthers were actually in a lot of these games, considering how young they were, and then dealing with the injuries that they did. And so I really like what they have here, an opportunity to just build confidence, build momentum, and take this program to the next level. And I mean, Coach Salinas bringing in his new philosophy, his new system, and I think it took these guys a year to get adjusted to it. And I'm sure he's also going to open the playbook a little bit more this year, which I'm also excited about.
Absolutely. You've been a Panther for a very, very long time. Graduated from Weslaco High School. You remember the Sonny Cavazos days.
Yes.
Sonny Cavazos days. Have you ever seen a team, run the spread like this at Weslaco High?
Like this, Carlos, probably not since that 1991 team when Coach Haidt came in. He spread things out, ran the wishbone also. That's a team that went 12-1, went undefeated in the regular season. I know in the late 90s with Joel Calderon, they had Kelsha Rivas in the backfield, also racked up a lot of yardage. I think Joel Calderon threw for about 2,000 yards. But at least the style-wise.
That's because he would toss short to Kelsha,
sure,
and Kelsha would get the rest of the yards. Don't give Joel Calderon too much credit.
Exactly. But this kind of style, Carlos, yeah, I mean, you have to go back to that 1991 team where Coach Haidt brought in. And if you remember in those days, running that kind of offense wasn't normal compared to what we see today.
Absolutely. And I'm just kidding, Joe Calderon. You were a pretty good football player.
Not bad. You were number one.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights of the 2018 season. The 2018 season hasn't even started yet. Well, we got scrimmage highlights, so let's go ahead and take a look at some of those. And you can see early on, it was Jacob Cavazos here. This is against Harlingen. And this showed that, yeah, he can read that offense pretty well, take off running when he has to. And Cavazos once again running here. This is against PSJA Memorial. Same. Watch this little move at the end there to break away at midfield, and he's able to get into the end zone right there after he breaks an arm tackle. Look out for another player, Mike. We haven't talked much about him, but Diego Martinez had an outstanding camp. Here he is scoring a touchdown against PSJA Memorial, and also KJ Jones, someone we haven't talked much about either, but he also had a good summer as well. Somehow he kept 1 foot in bounds right there, but the star of the offseason has to be the defense, the way they have played so well. And you're talking not only about Noriega and Sam Sanchez, but also you're talking, or Seth Sanchez, but also Sam Perez and Jesse Ramos on that defensive line. They are all seniors. And Jacob Cavazos looked sharp. Look right here, passing to Jaden Cavazos. This is a game against Brownsville Memorial. And then Diego Martinez once again. As I like Cavazos right here, Mike. Able to scramble, set his feet, go down the field to Diego Martinez and score a touchdown right there. And then a junior running back who will be getting some playing time here tonight will be Peyton Kanab. A bigger back than what we've seen in the past, put on a lot of muscle. Here he just goes behind his big offensive line, and then he's able to score. So some highlights there early on in the season. Very, very exciting just to watch them play during the scrimmages. What stood out to you?
Well, I mean, you talk about the defense. It has to start with the defense there because, as we mentioned, this was a unit that gave up a lot of yards, a lot of big plays, and they only gave up 1 touchdown, and that's key. And, I mean, confidence-wise, Marco Noriega looks like he's in mid-season form there, and they just look like they're a little bit more physical compared to last year. Seth Sanchez looks great. They bring a lot of experience back. And then I think they also found a few other playmakers, starting with KJ Jones. We saw a highlight of him just a minute ago. Very athletic, and we also saw him in the purple and white scrimmage, made a few great catches, Carlos. And so you just that's another weapon you add when you have like the Jaden Cavazos, when you have the Devin Dana. You can bring this guy in here and let him make a play like that. And Dante Castillo also had a very good camp, number 32. Keep an eye out on him also. Very good size, big boy. You can, throw him a little little screen pass or just a short pass down there and let them make a play there. And offensively, 7 touchdowns against Brownsville Veterans. Again, just outstanding job by the offense. There's just something about Jacob Cavazos, Carlos. I mean, we saw what he could do last year. I think most of that was just raw. I think now he just looks so much more comfortable, so much more confident, and he's healthy.
All right, so the Panthers, right behind me, was taking a look. Panthers won the toss. It'll be the Rowe Warriors who will be receiving the ball, so we'll get to see that Weslaco Panther defense out onto the field first for this game. So it looks good. The Panther Corps is here. They're ready. They're excited. Pigskin will be taking place at Bobby Lackey Stadium, so a lot of people are excited about that. And not only are we going to have pigskin there, but there'll also be pre-pigskin there. So there'll be bands from all over the Rio Grande Valley that will be competing at Bobby Lackey Stadium. That'll take place in October. So the Panther Corps and the Wildcat Regiment, both are high schools at Weslaco ISD, very excited about the upcoming marching season. The cheerleaders are here as well. We also have the drill team getting ready. So what can we say, but high school football season is here.
Yeah, exactly, Carlos. The sun is still out. The sun will set. Eventually, dusk will set in, then evening will kick in. This is late August, September. This is what it's all about. Very exciting time. The fans are getting here. It looks like the Panthers are going to have a strong support, as they always do. And let's play some football.
All right, Mike. So we're going to go ahead and we will send it to the pregame festivities that are taking place right now. The Panthers are going to be coming out to the field here in a few minutes. The national anthem will be taking place. And then we'll kick it upstairs to who will be Scott Harrison. He will be doing the play-by-plays, and color commentary will be Clay Williams. So we're excited about having them for the entire high school football season. For Mike Gonzalez, I'm Carlos Roberto. Thanks for joining us on the K-West pregame show.
And good evening and welcome. It is time for high school football, and we are live in McAllen, Texas. We're at McAllen Veterans Memorial Stadium, now known as DQ Fan Field. At least that is the corporate sponsor here. And along with Clay Williams, I'm Scott Harrison. We're glad to have Clay aboard this season to be our color analyst for Weslaco Panthers football. And yes, it is the Panthers on the road, and they are taking on Nikki Rowe, the Warriors. Of course, there's been realignment this year, and Nikki Rowe is now in District 36A, Weslaco in District 31-6A with a lot of the Edinburgh schools. And first, Clay, welcome aboard. It's good to have you. Many years you've covered high school football, mostly for Channel 4, a longtime sports director in McAllen, and bring a wealth of almost 2 decades of high school football coverage. So, Clay, what can we expect tonight?
Well, thanks a lot, Scott. It's a pleasure to join you this season for Weslaco Panthers high school football as the Panthers get ready to kick off. Of course, they're coming off of a rough year when it comes to Weslaco standards. 3-6 last year, 2-5 in district. Did not make the playoffs in Michael Salinas' first year as head coach of the Panthers. But you have to think that they're wanting to start off strong tonight in this first game, a non-district contest against a Nikki Rowe team that went 7-4 last year, 4-2 in district. So, the Panthers are going to want to try and start something going as they will start on defense as the game gets underway.
And George Martinez, he is the kicker now for the team, and he kicks off, knocks it out of bounds. So it is going to be Nikki Rowe with the ball first. And Nikki, of course, it's a 5-yard penalty on the kick out of bounds. So they are going to start, I believe, around their 30-yard line. And talk about the uniforms tonight.
Weslaco is wearing their away white uniforms, white helmets, purple logos on the white helmets, and purple numbers on the white uniforms. Meanwhile, Nikki Rowe is going with all green pants, green jerseys, green numbers with yellow trim, and a shiny silver metallic helmet as we get ready to kick off again.
That's right.
And it'll be a 5-yard penalty enforced on the re-kick. So it will be Weslaco Panthers getting ready to kick, I believe, this time from the 35-yard line.
Of course, Bobby Flores, third year with Rowe, 14-8. And as far as Coach Salinas, second year, but he has a very, very storied career, and he was up in Edinburgh, right?
Right. He, of course, was the very first coach in the history of Vela High School, the Vela Sabercats, and took them from, basically 0 wins in year 1 all the way to undefeated regular season by the time year 4 came around. An incredible rise for that program, and he was the architect of the whole thing. And then last year, of course, coming over to Weslaco to become the head coach of the Panthers. Bobby Flores, you mentioned his 3rd season at the head of Rowe, but has been at Nikki Rowe for much longer. Onside kick, and it looks like it's been recovered, and it has. Recovered by Weslaco and recovered by Roy Trevino.
And this guy is very talented. We've seen what he can do on defense. Also ran the ball 7 times or several times last year, so he is dangerous both on offense and defense, though I think on defense he was the 2nd leading tackler last year for Weslaco. And what do you think about that razzle-dazzle?
It was, it's a move that says, hey, if you don't want to take the ball where we're going to kick it, then we'll try to take it away from you. It was obvious that Coach Salinas wanted to make a little bit of a statement right there, and hey, statement made, as Weslaco will take over exactly at midfield, right at the 50-yard line.
Jacob Cavazos only threw 13 passes last year. It was Marco Leal, who was mostly the quarterback, but he will start this year. And it was supposed to be Jeremy Coronado doing a lot of the running tonight, but he's got an injury and he's going to be held out for precautionary reasons. But again, the ball is rushed very quickly, and it is Peyton Knab, who missed a lot of the last year due to injuries. I think he was only in several games, but he gets a nice little gain to get things started.
About 6-yard gain. Knab will be looked upon to carry the majority of the rushing yards tonight, with Coronado out with an injury. Another injury just happened on the kickoff, and that is to the senior wide receiver, Diego Martinez. He's being looked at right now.
And once again, it is going to be a rushing play. This time it is a quarterback keeper down to the 40-yard line by Cavazos. It's going to be close to a first down.
Close to a first down. We mentioned the senior wide receiver, Diego Martinez. He's going to be looked at on the training table now, and it looks like they're going to try and tape him up. Probably an ankle injury, but it is a first down for the Weslaco Panthers at the Nikki Rowe 40-yard line.
So had to get right to the 40. They did that. It is 1st and 10. We are in the first minute of this game. Season opener for both teams. Warm day, over 100 degrees, but nice breeze tonight, and it's going to be handed off again, and this time the ball is going to go down near the 33-yard line on that pickup. Peyton Knab picks up about 7.
Yeah, Knab with some great push by that offensive line of the Panthers down there. They got some big-time jump off the ball there. They were able to open up a big hole up the middle for Peyton Knab.
So it's going to be a 2nd down and 3. And again, the ball is going to be handed off. I actually kept the time by Cavazos, but he's not going to get much room at all, maybe a yard.
Right. It was a couple of the Rowe Warriors defenders bit on the fake, but not enough to give it clear sailing for Jacob Cavazos, who takes it up the middle for maybe a yard and a half. It looks like it's going to be about 3rd and 2.
And for Cavazos, in 4 games last year, he completed 13 out of 29 passes for 167 yards, had 1 interception. And again, also ran the ball quite a bit. And on this play, we are going to see a few yards by Knab. We'll see if he got for the first down.
Yeah, that'll be enough for the first down.
Right.
Knab made a nice spin move as he ran into traffic there along the right side, following his blockers, but definitely cut back inside in order to get that first down.
Got about 4 on the play.
Absolutely. You mentioned Jacob Cavazos taking over. He looked very good for Weslaco in their 7-on-7 this past summer. 7-on-7, not exactly a great indicator, but Cavazos decides to take it right up the middle.
That's right. He's going to get the first down a lot more. He's going to be down near the 9-yard line. Pickup of about 20 on that play. And I'll tell you what, some misdirection. You saw Knab go to the right side. That kind of held the defense for just a moment, and there was the big run.
That's classic offensive play calling right there. Up the middle, round the side, and then the fake draw, the delayed draw for Jacob Cavazos.
And again, short gain that time for Knab. Gets it to about the 8-yard line, maybe a pickup of about 1. And so it's going to be 2nd and goal to go from about the 8-yard line. Early, 9:13, clock running. So far, nice drive for the visitors. They started at their own 50.
2 receivers left, 1 receiver right for Weslaco. Looks like they're going to pass.
That's right, and it goes to Delvin Dana, and Dana will get it in for the touchdown.
Touchdown, Weslaco Panthers, the very first of this high school football season in 2018.
8 yards.
You gotta like that drive if you're Weslaco. Yes, it was only 50 yards because of the turnover on the offside kick, but that's exactly the way you want to start the season. Driving it, getting first downs, and basically shoving it right down Nikki Rowe's throat in that first drive of the game.
Extra point. Martinez. Jaden Cavasso will hold the ball. It's up, and it's good. By the way, Jaden Cavasso, we may see him catch some passes tonight. He is no relation to the quarterback. Asked Coach before the game about that. So, on the first possession of the night for the visitors, it's Weslaco going 50 yards, using a little passing, a little running, and they are up ahead 7-0.
Just 3 minutes gone in that drive. That's exactly the right amount of time. Not too fast, not too slow. Didn't keep everybody out there too long. We're lucky here that it is in the 90s, but we've had great cloud cover for these kids to start off the season. It's not ridiculously hot out there, and there's even a bit of a breeze, as being shown by the American flag blowing from looks like from east to west tonight.
And of course, last year Devin Denna, he had 31 catches for 351 yards and 2 touchdowns. So again, he had a nice year last year, but he's already halfway to as many receiving touchdowns as he had last season here on the opening possession. So Dina does a good job.
Some good injury news. It looks like Diego Martinez walking without a limp, as he had his right ankle taped up, and he's right now pacing the sidelines. If he keeps that up without much pain, it looks like maybe he might be able to play tonight, depending upon what the trainers think. But Diego Martinez walking back and forth without a limp on the sidelines. Another onside kick.
Onside kick by Martinez, and it will look like it will stay in bounds, and it is going to be down at about the 23-yard line, and that is where Nikki Rowe will start it 1st and 10. Are you surprised to see back-to-back onside kicks?
I am, but I'm even a little more surprised to see the Rowe Warriors not jump on that ball immediately, trying to wait for it to go out of bounds. That's not the right move that you want on special teams. If you've got a ball bouncing in front of you on a kickoff, you want to jump on that thing like it's a grenade, and you're saving your troop mates. You need to get on that thing as quickly as possible. No waiting around to see if it goes out of bounds.
And it's going to be Jonas Ortiz. He started 6 games last year, I believe, and did a very good job.
He certainly did. Jesus Sanchez injured last year, but they're going deep.
Airs it out right away, and it is incomplete down near the 50. And the pass was intended that time for David Savage, a wide receiver sophomore.
Great story before the game. I'm not sure if you saw it, Scott, but David Savage was surprised as he was in the tunnel getting ready to come out, surprised by his older brother, Robert Savage, a seaman in the U.S. Navy who was given permission to come watch his younger brother play tonight. He had no idea that his brother was going to be here. He was surprised, and it was a great scene early on.
And that time, Ortiz keeps the ball, maybe gets a yard or 2. He took over, as you mentioned, when Sanchez went down with an injury and led his team to 6 straight wins. And before that, the junior had been a tight end.
This is a guy who was a tight end, but he had been groomed to be a quarterback back in as a freshman. When he was called up to varsity, they knew that he was going to have to fill in, but they always knew that he was the quarterback of the future. It's just last year the future came a lot quicker than anybody expected.
No gain on that play, 3rd and 10. It's a passing play, and it is going to be complete down near the 30-yard line, picked up about 7.
Yeah, it's going to be short, and so the Rowe Warriors are going to face 4th down and about 3 yards, maybe 2.5.
And it was Ruben Sines the third, the reception senior.
Looks like Rowe's going to come on and punt. 4th and 3.
All right, 4th and 3 again at the 30 clock running. Under 8 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. Remember, the first time the Panthers had the ball, they marched 50 yards after they got the onside kick and took it in for a touchdown. Snap is high, and the kick is off.
Soccer-style pooch kick there.
And it's going to be downed inside Weslaco territory near the 44-yard line.
Once again, Weslaco Panthers will be starting with a short field. They only had 50 yards to go for their first drive. They'll only have about 57 yards to go to hit pay dirt on this one. 7:36 remaining. Weslaco leading this game 7-0 over the homestanding Nikki Rowe Warriors.
And I believe it was Jonathan Velasquez who did the punting there. So again, 1st and 10. And again, the ball at the 44, 1st and 10.
Got 3 receivers on the right side.
And Dana in motion on the left to right, but there's a flag. First flag of the day, I believe, right besides the kickoff.
Besides the initial kickoff.
False start. So it's a false start against the offense, 5-yard penalty. It's going to be 1st and 15 back from the 39. And you hate to see a penalty on 1st down. You know what momentum killers they can be.
Certainly can, but it's also something you kind of expect for the first game of the year. There's plenty of nerves out there, I'm certain.
Brings up 1st and 15 for the Panthers.
All right. Cavazos at quarterback. This time he's going to spin around, go toward the right side. He's going to be over the 40, down to the 45, down near the 49-yard line. So he is very, very close to picking up about 10 on that play, which would leave about 5 more for the 1st down.
Yeah, great run right there by Cavazos. So you can tell it was a planned run. Spinning around and going back to the right side and eluding an arm tackle by a row defender to get the extra 7 yards after first contact.
So 2nd down and 5, and the ball is going to be handed off, and this time it's going to be a jet sweep, and it is Dana, and he is going to be dropped after just a 1-yard gain. Lots of running there laterally, but not much forward.
One of the captains on that Nikki Rowe defense, Josiah Alonso, the junior, coming up big with a tackle on that one.
He's a big-time player.
He's a huge player. He's one of the leaders on this road defense, and he made sure that the Panthers came away with no yards on that attempt.
6:42 clock running 1st quarter. It's Panthers over the Warriors 7-0. 3rd and 4, ball at midfield, and this time Cavazos is going to keep it. He's going to get the 1st down, a lot more. He's at the 35 before he finally goes down. So on that play, he picks up 15.
Excellent run by Jacob Cavazos, who's showing that this Weslaco team has got a lot of different ways they can attack you. Obviously, Peyton Knaub left and Peyton Knaub right just softens up that road defense for Cavazos, and his delayed draws and his sweeps around the right side. Cavazos pretty tough to bring down.
And we've got a slot on the right side, 1 receiver on the left. It goes to that receiver on the left side, and it looks like the pass is going to be a little bit low, incomplete, or are they going to say complete?
No, incomplete pass there to Jay Granados. Went right through his hands as he was heading toward the ground. It was a low pass. It was really tough to come up with.
So 2nd down and 10, ball at the 35-yard line. Again, we're glad everybody's watching us tonight on K-West Live. Always a lot of fun working with the K-West crew, most of them back from last year. And once again, Cavazos has the ball over the 30, and he's going to be down near the 25-yard line. Another gain in double digits, close to 10 yards. They are just eating up it. Chunk at a time.
Yeah, the Rowe Warriors defense not ready for these option plays that Weslaco is throwing their way. They're biting on fakes. They're biting on the running backs, and Coach Salinas throwing in some different personnel there. Looks like at 3rd and short.
Okay.
He's got some goal line personnel in there to try and get this 1 yard. Looks like to me. He's got a full house backfield.
9 yards on the run, and going to be a timeout. Talking to Coach Salinas before the game, I talked to him for a few minutes, and he was really excited about going into his 2nd season. Just kind of getting through that 1st year, getting his new system put in, and I think you could see the excitement on his face. He was ready.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you think about how long the Weslaco Panthers had been using the slot T offense, years and years, over a decade, you can't expect for an entire team to pick up in Salinas' pro set offense just in 1 year. It's going to take a little bit of time, but it looks to me like the time is now. They're still able to rush the ball well, but they're spreading the ball with their receivers on the right and the left side, throwing odd number receivers on each side. It looks to me like the Salinas offense is really paying dividends here early in the 1st quarter. 5.5 to go, and of course Weslaco driving and with a 3rd and short coming up and a 7-0 lead.
And I remember Peyton Knaub last year in the opening game down at Weslaco. It was a hot Saturday afternoon. He returned against Marshall of San Antonio, a kickoff, 80 yards for a touchdown. So he's an exciting player. And again, 3rd and short. Ball is going to be handed off to the left side, and it's going to be a 1st down for Knaub as he falls forward to about the, 23-yard line and picks up about 3.
Just keep making these 1st downs and eating this clock and eating up the yards as well. This Weslaco offense running like a fine-tuned machine. That one false start at the beginning of this drive, but other than that, it's been positive yardage almost every single play.
So 1st and 10, ball at the 23-yard line, handoff once again, and the ball is going to go down to about the 22-yard line. Roy Trevino getting a carry. I think he had several carries last year, but this time playing offense as well as defense. And anytime he touches the ball, when we saw it on offense last year, it almost meant double digits.
A captain, a respected member of this Weslaco Panthers squad.
2nd down and 4, ball at the 17-yard line.
Trevino again, this time gets stopped at the line of scrimmage, but still rushes forth for about a yard, 1 yard.
And that time, stopped on the play by Derek Luna.
Yeah, Luna, one of the great players for Bobby Flores' Rowe Warriors team that's going both ways. Made his biggest impact last year for this playoff-bound Warriors team as a wide receiver. But Flores, despite the numbers he's got, and he does have 6A numbers, he's not afraid to take his best players and use them on offense and defense. Derek Luna, one of the guys he's doing that with.
Pickup of 3 on the play, 3rd down and 3, ball at the 16-yard line. And once again, it is going to be Cavazos, but he's going to be spun around and put down for a loss.
Yeah, Cavazos, I'll tell you who wasn't fooled on that play, and that was Emilio Tapete, the linebacker, the junior linebacker there, who he read that one. The defensive coordinators have been getting in these guys' ears saying, don't bite on that initial handoff, that fake handoff. Watch Cavazos. Let's not let him beat us, and that time Tapete made sure he didn't.
Loss of 1 on the play, 4th down and 4, ball at the 17-yard line, and there's going to be a flag.
Dead ball, ball starts, number 63 in the offense. Replay 4th down.
So you think you still go for it, or you try a field goal?
4th and 9 from the. So we're looking at
Coach Williams?
We're looking at about a 33-yard field goal. I don't know what the kicker is like for this team yet. Jorge Martinez, is he's experienced. But it looks like Salinas wants to go for it. Looks like this is kind of 4-down territory, to tell you the truth.
And Cavazos will pass, looks downfield, up the middle, and the pass is incomplete around the 8-yard line. And that time, it was deflected. It was deflected by Angel Rodriguez, who's also quite a wide receiver for this team, but there's holding against the offense.
First down.
And
Rowe Warriors are going to decline that penalty. They can. And Rowe will take over at the line of scrimmage, which is about the 23-yard line, their own 23-yard line. They were 4 and out in their first drive. Let's see if Bobby Flores' team can get his squad moving in that right direction this time around.
Looked like Isaac Variel was the intended receiver on that last play. Of course, a penalty was part of it. Turnover on downs. 1st and 10 at the 22. Nikki Rowe moving toward the north, protecting the south goal here in the first quarter. Pass attempt is up. It's good down at the 29-yard line. So a nice gain on 1st down. And on that particular play, the catch was again by Ruben Saenz, and that is a pickup of at least 6.
Yeah, it's another one of the seniors on this senior-laden ball club, especially around the skill players. It's nice for Jonas Ortiz to have a ton of wide receivers, senior wide receivers to throw to.
2nd down and 3. Throws it to his left, and this time the ball is going to go down near the 34-yard line. And the pass was complete to Jorge Pena for the 1st down.
Jorge Pena also going both ways. He was helping defend Isaac Villarreal in that 4th down play we saw just a couple of plays ago.
4 yards on that play. Trevino on the stop. Remember, he played a little bit of offense moments ago.
Absolutely, and Nikki Rowe gets their first down of the night.
2:12 remaining here in the opening quarter. Again, motion toward the right, and again, we are going to see a run, and it is going to go down near the 44. Actually, shuttle pass. Angel Rodriguez.
Yeah, and Jonas Ortiz with a beautiful fake right there as Rodriguez went in motion to start the play, coming from the right side, heading over to the left. And after he handed off to him, Ortiz with a second fake up the middle that a lot of the Weslaco Panthers defenders bit on.
Rodriguez, remember, played defense a moment ago on that 4th down play, broke it up. So again, you talked about how they go both ways, a number of players. There is an incomplete pass broken up near midfield, and the pass was intended for Ruben Salinas.
Salinas started running upfield, looked to see how many yards he had before he had the ball in his hands. There's nothing to say about it other than you just got to secure the ball before you can turn upfield, and Ruben Salinas did not do that. He was hearing a few footsteps.
Axel Camarena in on defense. So it's going to be a 2nd down and 10 at the 44-yard line. Nikki Rowe still in their own territory, trying to break midfield. Motion right to left, and this time ball will go up the middle, running play, and it's going to pick up a few yards.
Yeah, pick up about 3 yards, but this isn't the kind of play that Nikki Rowe is known for. Of course, that's Lalo Vasquez, who is such a great running back for this team last year, but right now they're at 3rd and 7, and they haven't been passing much since that opening run, but they're going to have to pass here.
3rd and 7, approaching 1 minute remaining in the opening quarter. 7-0 Weslaco leads, and passes incomplete. It probably would have been a 1st down. And on that play, it was David Savage, once again the intended receiver.
Yeah, he was being defended by Jake Espinoza, who was right on top of him. There was some miscommunication in that play by the Warriors. Either Ortiz was throwing to a different route or Savage wasn't doing the route right, but one way or another, that connection wasn't going to happen on that play. That's going to bring up 4th and about 7 for the Warriors.
Ball thrown 47-yard line. Going to be a punt.
Devin Dania back to receive. Soccer-style pooch kick by Rowe Warriors. They get a nice roll out of it.
Yeah, goes down to the 20.
This will be the worst field position Weslaco started with all night. Started one at the 46, another drive, the one they scored on from the 50. Let's see what they have to do with a lot of green in front of them.
And you mentioned Savage. I have a good friend that was a long-time director of the Senior Bowl. You're familiar with that football game?
Absolutely.
Over in Mobile, Alabama each year. Also, he was the color analyst the last 9 years for the University of Alabama. Brought them luck. I think they won at least 3 championships during that period. His name is Phil Savage, if you're familiar with him.
Oh, definitely familiar with Phil Savage.
Ran into him the other day when I was at a Texans preseason game. He happens to be leaving, doing the color commentary for the University of Alabama. If you're a Crimson Tide fan, John David Parker, who used to be a quarterback there, is going to be the color analyst. And then we are going to see that Phil Savage is going to be part of that new spring league, the Alliance League, and he's going to be the general manager of the Phoenix team.
Right.
So a little knowledge for people that are big football junkies on what Phil Savage is doing.
Couple of scores to tell you about from across the Rio Grande Valley. Rio Hondo is in La Jolla to take on the Juarez Lincoln Huskies, and right now in the first quarter, it is the Huskies with the lead there, 6-0 over the Bobcats. Same score over just north of us at Robert Flores Stadium in Edinburgh is the Vela Sabercats hosting Laredo United, and Vela with a 6-0 lead over the Longhorns there. That one also in the first quarter.
55 seconds remaining. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Panthers, going from our right to left.
And they won't be going that way for very long. Only 55 seconds left in this first quarter.
They are protecting the north end zone here in the first quarter.
Ball spotted on the Panther, 21.
And after the end of the first quarter, we'll get some insights from Clay on how he thought this quarter went.
Goodness
Not
gracious.
much on that pass, huh?
Devin Dina takes it in the flats, but he got nailed right there by the linebacker, by Adrian Salinas. Salinas gives him a loss of 2 on that play, and so now it's going to be 2nd and 12 for the Panthers on their own 19-yard line.
At least one more play remaining here in the opening quarter. And again, Dana will be going over to his left. We have Trips over on the right side. Kanab in the backfield.
Dana goes in motion, but there's a penalty whistle right at the beginning. Nikki Rowe looks pretty pleased.
False start, number 61.
That's the 3rd false start on the Weslaco Panthers tonight.
Replay, 2nd down.
I know one point of contention that will be brought up in the locker room at halftime. Weslaco now facing 2nd and 17.
Just get the play off with about 5 seconds remaining.
Oof.
Cavazos, he is brought down in the backfield, and he is going to lose about 5 yards.
Quarterback sacked by number 69.
Yeah, sacked right there by Omar Villarreal, the big defensive lineman. And that'll bring the first quarter to an end.
Weslaco 7, Rowe 0.
All right, so it is after 1 quarter of play, the Weslaco Panthers 7 and the Warriors of Nikki Rowe nothing. And we're enjoying bringing this to you on KOS. Clay Williams, appreciate you joining us this season. Great job in the first quarter. And talk about the great and not so great jobs done by the teams in the first quarter.
Well, obviously coming up with a big turnover on the onside kick for their first drive was very key for this Weslaco team, and they were able to drive 50 yards and get the first score of the game. But since then, the Nikki Rowe defense has definitely made some adjustments. Jacob Cavazos, who was, probably already over 50, 60 yards in this game, got stopped, once they started making the adjustments. And now with that sack, it looks like Weslaco, looks like their number might be had by that Nikki Rowe defense. They're going to have to do something different. Meanwhile, Nikki Rowe still can't quite get their offense going the way they want it to.
3rd and 22. It is at the 9-yard line of Weslaco. And there is motion, and there is a flag. Kanab in motion, and we see a penalty.
Dead ball. False start. Number 76 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
Yeah.
So, that's going to be 3rd down and a mile, 3rd down and 27.
Yeah, Coach Salinas very unhappy with that call. He went down and talked to the linesman about it. He thinks that either they're being drawn off sides or perhaps the call isn't being made in the right way, or perhaps he's just showing his frustration. You got to be frustrated with 4 different false start penalties as they come in the end zone, and man, Nikki Rowe is right there. Jacob Cavazos barely got out and saved the safety there. As it is, he's sacked.
Loses a couple yards.
Yeah. We're talking about 4th and close to 30 here, I believe.
And on that particular play, it was Eric Perles with the tackle.
Like I said, Rowe Warriors have made their adjustments defensively, and they've got the number of Weslaco's offense right now, and they're going to be punting from deep inside their own end zone.
Jaden Cavazos, what a way to start the season. Punting from the back of your end zone, and he will get it off. And the ball is going to hit around the 40, his own 40.
Beautiful roll, but it's picked up right there.
Picked up near the 50-yard line, but not much gain after that.
Yeah, but still picking it up by Angel Rodriguez right there at the 50 means that Nikki Rowe will have their best field position of this game thus far. You got to think that Coach Flores wants to take advantage of that.
All right. So remember one time on the opening series of the game, it was at the 50-yard line for the visitors, and Weslaco went the distance, and it was Dino with a 8-yard touchdown reception. So 1st and 10. With the ball is Ortiz. I'll hand it off, and it's going to be about maybe a 3-yard gain.
Vasquez with a play right there, getting some decent yardage. Get a couple more of those, and looks to me like Rowe is going to try and do this on the inside. They're keeping most of their players close to the vest on that one.
So it's going to be 2nd down and 7. Ball at the 45-yard line. Slot on the right side. Motion going left to right. Ooh, and this time it's going to be about a yard gain by Lalo.
Yeah, Samuel Perez is going to be kicking himself because he had Vasquez right at the line of scrimmage, but Vasquez bounced off of Perez, and he was able to get another 3 yards on that play. So,
and what defensive linemen they have for Weslaco, like Seth Sanchez, you mentioned Perez, also Benito Juarez, and Jesse Ramos. So this time the ball is going to be jet sweep, it looks like, around the right side down to about the 37.
Yeah, Ethan Ruiz taking it around the right side. He got tripped up by the turf monster, or else he would have had an easy 1st down. As it is, it looks like it's going to be 4th and inches. They might even measure this one.
Yeah. So it's 3rd and 5.
Yeah. he could have easily gotten 6 or 7 yards, but like I said, tripped up right at the first down marker. Are they gonna? Yeah, it looks like they're gonna. Yeah, the referees are gonna. They're going to want to take a look at this one. They'll bring in the crew.
All right. And we'll talk more about this, but are you excited about the new realignment for the teams this year, especially Weslaco?
It's interesting. I can't help but think of what might have been, however. It would have been so easy. The UIL really kind of screwed things up. There were 21 6A teams. How tough would it have been to go 7-7-7 and make things a lot easier? Instead, they went 8-7-6. And, it just really, really made things tough when it comes to scheduling. And not just scheduling this year. When you schedule, you have to schedule for 2 solid years. And it's really tough, especially on the lower valley 6A teams, the 32 6A. That's the reason why every single 32 6A team in Week 5 is going to have to play a team from West Texas or the Panhandle. You've got teams like Amarillo, Tascosa, and Lubbock, Monterey, and Abilene and Midland, and those teams, and Midland Lee, that are all going to be meeting up with Valley teams halfway, sometimes halfway in between. Sometimes they're going to be doing home and homes, but that's a lot of money that could have been saved for all of those teams if the UIL, instead of going 8-7-6, just would have gone 7-7-7.
So it's 4th and inches. Jesus Ortiz at quarterback. Got motion left to right, and at this time he is going to keep the ball, and he is not going to get the first down. He's going to be knocked for a loss.
Yeah, Jonas Ortiz met at the line right there by Jaden Knaub, the cornerback, the senior right there, coming up huge. He made sure that Jonas Ortiz had nowhere to go, and that's a huge stop for this Weslaco defense.
Well, Jonas gave his best bet, but the defense, we talked about how good the defense.
Oh, never mind.
Wow. Hold on.
Offsides on the defense. Offsides on the defense. That's an automatic first down for the Rowe Warriors. I did not see a flag on the other side of the field, but apparently there was one.
Break for Jonas.
Wow, what a break for the Nikki Rowe Warriors, and what a tough call for a Weslaco defense that's been out there for quite some time. Michael Salinas is upset, and I can't say as I blame him,
Lined up over center this time is Ortiz. 3 backs behind him, motion left to right. And this time we're going to get a passing play from Ortiz. Looking downfield in the end zone. It's broken up at the last moment.
But there is a flag. There's a flag on the play.
It was Ruben Salinas, the intended receiver.
It went in and out of his hands. I'm going to be interested to see what kind of call this is. Camarena never looked back at the ball. That might be the call here. They might call defensive pass interference. It's not like Camarena was all over him, but he never did look back at the ball.
All right, awaiting the call.
Here it comes.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 28. 15-yard penalty. First down.
That's okay. It's on Gabriel Gonzalez, not Camarena, according to the referee anyway. But whoever the let's take another look at this when we're looking at the replay on the scoreboard. And yeah, you have to say that is defensive pass interference. The ball was underthrown. If it had been thrown right on, then maybe there wouldn't have been pass interference on Gabriel Gonzalez. That's a tough call. That's a second tough call. Oh, my goodness.
And a sweep, but it's not going to get much. Spun around and finally tackled in the backfield.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Seth Sanchez had him dead to rights, but he got away from him. But coming right back is Raul Camarena, who just laid a stick into the ball carrier there. So
second down and 12, loss of 2.
It would have been a loss of 4 if Seth Sanchez had come up with it, but instead it's a loss of 2, and that's not a problem. They'll definitely take that with the Weslaco defense.
All right. Jonas Ortiz at quarterback. He is going to keep it. He is going to get over the 20. Now he sweeps over on the right side. He'll be down near the 10-yard line, and that was a nice run of about 8.
And we've got another flag on the play. This one coming in late at the end. A slip and fall by a Weslaco defender gave Ortiz a chance, and then a great block downfield by one of his receivers meant that Ortiz was able to get another 5 yards. But let's see what the flag is.
Blocking below the waist. Offense. Number 27. Spot of the foul. 15 yards. First down. Sorry, replay. Second down.
So it'll be a replay of second down.
8:15 remaining here in the first half. 7-0. Panthers over the Warriors. Panthers scoring on the opening possession of the ball game.
15-yard mark-off against the Warriors.
15-yard mark-off, we heard the PA announcer say.
Brings up 2nd and 25.
2nd and 25, ball on the 31-yard line. Nikki Rowe in Panthers territory.
2nd and long, you know that Ortiz is going to throw, and that's not just because he's got an empty backfield. It's
Trips
just
on
the
the
right
left,
play
yeah.
to do it.
Slot on the right, and gets it to the slot on the right, and that ball is going to go down near the 25-yard line, pickup of about 6.
Pass completed 34, Lalo Bosques.
This Weslaco defense doing a pretty good job of covering the Rowe Warriors receivers downfield.
Lalo Bosques on the reception.
Ball spotted on the Panther 27-yard line.
So they'll officially mark it on the 27, and it's going to be 3rd down and 21. Clock running, under 7:30 remaining here in the second quarter. One back in the backfield. Ortiz is going to pass, and he will get it down near the 16-yard line on that reception.
Pass completed to number 13.
And it's number 13 who gets it, Ruben Salinas. His number's been called a lot tonight.
4th down and 10.
4th down and 10.
4th and 10 on the, looks like 16-yard line. We're talking about a 33-yard kick. The Rowe offense looking to the sidelines for the call. Looks like the personnel's going to stay in there, so it looks to me like they're going to go for it here on 4th down.
4th and 10.
All right. There is a whistle. It's going to be timeout.
Yeah, timeout for the Rowe Warriors. Let me give the folks who might be listening live some more scores to tell you about. Edinburgh Vela is putting a hurt on Laredo United tonight. It is 20-0. Christian Flores, the transfer from Edinburgh North, who's now at Edinburgh Vela. 3 touchdowns tonight for Edinburgh Vela.
Wow.
So looks like the SaberCats running game is alive and well. Meanwhile, Ed Couchelsa has gone north to the Coastal Bend to take on a very tough new program up in Corpus Christi, the Veterans Memorial Eagles. And right now, Ed Couchelsa down 18-0 in this game.
That's Wesco's appointment next week.
Yes, that's right. Wesco's next opponent will be Ed Couchelsa, and tonight Ed Couchelsa on the rough side of it, 18-0 as it's just gone to the second quarter in Corpus Christi. Meanwhile, an interesting game happening in Brownsville. Brownsville Hannah playing McAllen Memorial. Of course, McAllen Memorial, one of the real powers up here in the Upper Valley. They play their games here at Veterans Memorial Stadium, but they went down to Sam Stadium in Brownsville tonight, and they started off losing 14-0. They've come back and scored. It's now 14-6, Hannah over Memorial in the second quarter.
Ortiz passing in the end zone toward the corner, and it is broken up at the back of the end zone.
Excellent, excellent play there by Rene Juarez of the Weslaco Panthers. Jaden Knaub actually on that play.
And it looked like, I believe on that play, it was David Savage, the intended receiver.
So once again, Rowe Warriors getting close, but no cigar. This time shooting themselves in the foot with penalties to keep themselves out of the red zone and turning the ball over once again to Weslaco. This Rowe team, this Rowe defense has been very good the last several drives, but they've got to be getting tired because they are out there a lot.
So 1st and 10 on the 16-yard line for Weslaco. 6:40 remaining here in the second quarter. They are ahead. And on that play, ball moves to the 20, pickup of 4 by Knaub.
Knaub right there. He knocked off the helmet of the Rowe Warrior who met him in the hole there. That was Josiah Alonso losing his silver dome right there, but getting it back on. But now 2nd and 5.
Ball to 21.
If Coach Salinas has got any gadget plays, trick plays, this is a great place to run it. 2nd and 5 on your own 21.
And the ball is going to be kept right now by Cavazos, and he is going to be out at about the 26-yard line, very close to a first down.
Extremely close to a first down.
marked out of bounds by number
by the way,
3, Adrian Salinas.
Carlos Orletto and also Mike Gonzalez will have a halftime show for us tonight.
Fantastic. Those guys do such a great job for K-West. I know all the Weslaco Panthers fans who are watching tonight are looking forward to that.
They did a great pregame show.
Looks like 3rd and short.
Yeah, 3rd and 1. And it is going to be...
Kanab's got some room.
Yeah, Kanab is going to get down to about the 40-yard line. He picks up about 15.
Peyton Kanab.
Goodness gracious.
Number 3, Adrian Salinas.
And, of course, Kanab, only 3 games last year. Injury put him out for the year. He had 26 carries for 84 yards and had that big return in the opening game against Marshall San Antonio, 80-yard return for a touchdown.
Adrian Salinas, the Rowe cornerback, isn't used to having to stop big running backs up the middle, but if he hadn't stopped on that one, it would have been a touchdown for Kanab.
And Cavazos pressure in the backfield, and he is going to go down near the 30-yard line.
Fantastic play right there by number 35, Jorge Barrera, the defensive lineman for the Rowe Warriors. Got some great penetration. Cavazos tried to spin out of it, but Cavazos had no chance against Barrera. Barrera was all over it.
Loss of 9 on the play, so it's going to be 2nd down and 19. Ball at the 32-yard line as we approach 5 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. 7-0. It is a lead for the Panthers.
So far, there was a score on the first drive and nothing since.
And this time, it's going to be a short pass to Jaden Cavazos, and he is going to get up near the 43-yard line.
First down, Jaden Cavazos got some good blocking on that one. Really quick bubble screen.
Bubble screen. Cavazos, of course, also the punter. Gain of 15, 3rd down and 7 at the 44. And Jaden last year got a chance to play a little bit, and we enjoyed watching him.
And as you said before, Jaden, no relation to Jacob. You know there's 2 teams in the Rio Grande Valley with starting quarterbacks named Jacob Cavazos this year?
Is there?
Yes.
Oh, there's a penalty on that. Tell us about it. Penalty on the snap.
San Benito's new quarterback, taking over for the great Eric Retta, is also named Jacob Cavazos.
All right.
Weslaco and San Benito not scheduled to meet this year, but if they were to meet in the playoffs, it could get confusing.
It's going to be 3rd and 12, and we want to give a shout out to Matt DeSantiago, last year the leading running back for Weslaco, had 7 touchdowns, 154 carries for 665 yards. Really enjoyed watching him last season. So again, 3rd down and 12, ball at the 39-yard line following the penalty.
That clock's still moving.
That's right. Cavazos has it. He's got time. He's got a receiver open, but overthrows him. Had a receiver open at about the 45-yard line.
Yeah, Diego Martinez back in. You can see the tape all over his ankle.
Right.
He was injured in that opening play, the onside kick, but has come back in, and it was had some room coming up over the middle.
Oh, yeah, he might have gone all the way had he caught it.
Yeah, but that one definitely overthrown. So it looks like it's going to be punt time for Weslaco with 4 minutes remaining in this half.
Jaden Cavazos, who just caught a pass moments ago, this time going to be doing the punting, going to get the ball around his own 27, and he will move to his right now, kick it down, and it's going to be a fair catch around the 27-yard line for Nikki Rowe in their own territory. And the fair catch that time was made by Angel Rodriguez, also good as a defensive back and wide receiver, as a matter of fact. Had a very good year, I believe, last year. We'll see if we can get up those receptions. He had 580 yards on 39 receptions last year and 3 touchdowns. That's Angel Rodriguez.
And Angel Rodriguez, smart to call for a fair catch right there. It's not horrible field position, starting on your own 27, and plus there were so many. That punt hung up so long, there were a ton of Weslaco defenders ready to just knock the you-know-what out of him if he was to try and run with it.
Jonas Ortiz with the ball is going to hand it off. Vasquez is going to be met at the line of scrimmage, maybe even lost a yard or 2.
Yeah, and he was met hard right there by Marco Noriega, the senior linebacker for this Weslaco Panthers defense. He was right there in the hole, right where he needed to be, and I think he might have thrown him. Yeah, it looks like a 1-yard loss.
And by the way, Noriega last year was the leading tackler for Weslaco, 79 tackles, 30 solo, and I believe 49 assisted. So quite a year for him, and starting off strong once again.
Yeah, he's the man in the middle.
2nd down and 11, and this time not much on that catch.
Beautiful play by Raul Camarena. Came in there as soon as the receiver made the catch in the flats. and Camarena just wrapped him up, made sure there was nothing going on right there.
5 brings up 3rd down, 15.
So I believe it's a loss of 4 on the play. Going to be 3rd down and 15, clock running. Under 3 minutes remaining here in the opening half. Ball at the 22-yard line. Nikki Rowe in their own territory.
Ruben Saenz made the catch on that, but ended up losing more yards for the Warriors offense.
Back to pass. Ortiz
Going
looking
deep.
downfield. Got a man open for a second. Double coverage.
Beautiful
And
catch.
he catches it in territory.
Unbelievable
Wow.
catch right there by Alex Rodriguez. Fantastic.
In Weslaco territory around the 48.
Oh my goodness.
Double coverage.
1st down for the
Double
Warriors.
coverage for Alex Rodriguez, comes down with it. We're going to take another look at the replay from look at Ortiz, had it right on the button, right in between the two covers for Weslaco's defense, and Alex Rodriguez coming up with a beautiful catch and a 1st down.
46-yard line of Weslaco, and this is going to be a running play, and it's going to get down to about the 40-yard line.
Up the middle, number
So
34.
Vasquez had some room
got
to move.
Got six.
Had some room to move. 2 minutes left in this half. Looks like Rowe really concentrating on trying to tie this one up before it gets to the halftime locker room.
So 2nd down and 4. Ball at the 40-yard line of the Panthers. Really warm earlier today, but nice breeze tonight. And this time, loss in the
Big time.
backfield.
Marco Noriega again. 2nd huge tackle on this drive by Rowe. 2nd time that he has caused the Warriors to lose yardage, and it looks like Weslaco is going to call a timeout.
And I believe it was Vasquez again, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so-
Noriega had him
Yeah.
dead to rights in the backfield.
So a loss on that play makes it 3rd down and 8. I guess that was a loss of about 4 yards. And again, a timeout. 1:34 remaining. And each team has 2 timeouts remaining.
Yeah, interesting that Coach Salinas wanted to call a timeout there. It's obvious that he sees something. He wants his defense to make an adjustment. Otherwise, with that loss in the backfield, Rowe would be up against it when it comes to time. So Coach Salinas, he's no dummy. He wouldn't give Rowe a chance and extra time to get ready for this play unless he knew he had to get his defense ready and had him get him ready for something that he knows is coming.
Well, Weslaco playing very well. I know a number of the local prognosticators picked Rowe to win by 7. Of course, there's a long time left, obviously, but still, Weslaco very much, this young team, really, really coming out strong.
Yeah, and it's been the defense that's obviously been, the big news here. What Jonas Ortiz was able to do last year as quarterback for this Rowe Warriors team, he's got big expectations. Everybody thinks that this Rowe team is going to be able to score a lot of points. And right now, there's a big fat 0 on the board as we're almost 2 quarters in.
And here he is, Ortiz, and he overshoots his receiver. By the way, you were talking about this young man and what he has been able to. Ortiz last year in 11 games completed 133 passes and 202 attempts for 1,827 yards and 17 touchdowns and 6 interceptions.
That's pretty impressive right there. That's close to 10 yards of reception, and they're getting nothing like that today.
All right, it is going to be a 4th down and 8, 44-yard line of Weslaco. Trips on the right, 2 on the left. Pass to the right side, and it is going to be incomplete. Ball will go over to Weslaco with 1:23 remaining.
And maybe that is why Coach Salinas called the timeout. Maybe he wanted to give his team a chance to go down and drive and get a score before they go into the locker room.
Pass was intended for David Savage again. Remember that touchdown pass was intended for him.
Yeah, absolutely was. Savage, he should have come up with a catch on that one. If you get your hands on it, you got to come away with it. But now, because of the timeout that Coach Michael Salinas called, he's got 1:23 to try and get something done and to get into the end zone.
And remember, although it seems like Weslaco opened the game with the ball, they got it after a penalty on the kickoff. They kicked it off again and got the onside kick. They get the ball to start the second half, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, I'm not sure whether if Weslaco deferred
Or
if they just lost
that's
the
a good
toss.
point.
But, you know,
That's a good point.
most likely they are going to come out. Even if they deferred, I would imagine that Coach Salinas would like the ball to begin the second half as well.
Yeah.
There's always a chance he won't. Some coaches like to do that, but in my opinion, yes, it'll be Weslaco that comes up with it.
They could have the ball for quite a while.
Yes, they could.
By the way,
for the
nice
foreseeable
crowd.
future.
Yeah, nice crowd from Weslaco here. Of course, Nikki Rowe, the home team, they've got good fans out, and Weslaco travels well too.
It's a fantastic night for the first night of high school football in the Rio Grande Valley.
So it is going to be 2nd down and 10, and Cavazos gets the ball over to about the 48-yard line, and that time it was Jaden Cavazos with the reception, pickup of about 4.
Yeah, and it was some 3-on-3 crime there, as it was number 3. Angel Salinas, who stopped number 3, Jaden Cavazos, on that play. Got a little more than I thought. Looks more like 4 yards.
Okay.
It looked to me like he only got 3, but apparently his forward progress took him a little bit further. 3rd and 6.
At the 48-yard line, Weslaco in their own territory. Pass now on the left side. It tries to get it to Jaden Cavazos. Could not hold on.
Went right through his hands, and it's going to be Javier Rivero who's going to be kicking himself for not coming up. Actually, that's number 6, Noe Ramirez, who's going to be kicking himself for not coming up with that interception. He wasn't expecting it, obviously. It went through the hands of the receiver and right into his chest, but he just wasn't ready for it, or else it would have been Nikki Rowe ball. As it is, it could be Nikki Rowe ball here in a second. If Weslaco doesn't get the
Warriors still have 2 timeouts. Panthers 1, 1:09 remaining, and there's going to be a timeout for the Panthers. 4th down and 6.
That should be their last timeout of this half, I believe.
It will be. So we'll see what comes up there. And again, Nikki Rowe.
This is a war of attrition here. I mean, neither one of these teams wants to let the other one score right before the half. Neither one of these teams wants to go into the halftime locker room having just given up, either a big go-ahead score or a tying score.
Nikki Rowe, by the way, next week is at Mercedes.
That'll be an interesting game.
And by the way, they have returning starters, 3 on offense, 5 on defense. As far as Weslaco, they have 6 returning starters on offense, 8 on defense, and overall, Nikki Rowe has 15 returning lettermen. So that's how that shapes up. As we mentioned, head coach Elsa is going to be taking on Weslaco next Thursday. It's another Thursday game, and it will be at Bobby Lackey Stadium, but 7 o'clock starting time against head coach Elsa. And, of course, we mentioned they are at Christian Veterans tonight at the Corpus Christi, a new team.
Corpus Christi Veterans, the Eagles. But a new program, but one that's been very successful so far. Looks like it's going to be a punt for Weslaco.
All right. Jaden Cavazos with the punt. And it is going to roll inside the 10.
That's a beauty.
It is going to be down at near the 1-yard line. Nice play down near the 1-yard line.
KJ Jones down there to down it. And a fantastic punt by Jacob Cavazos there.
1-yard line.
So it's going to be at the 1-yard line, 1st and 10, 99 yards to go with 57.7 seconds remaining here in the first half.
And if you're a Weslaco fan, you feel good. If McAllen Rowe hasn't been able to score from any place on the field yet, what makes you think they're going to be able to score from 99 yards out?
Well, we're talking about a young man that threw 17 touchdown passes last year.
That's true. This is true. But I like what I've seen from the defensive backs from Weslaco tonight. They have been right on the mark and going up against some really seniors.
Ortiz gets the ball in the middle of his own end zone and gets it down to about the 9-yard line. And so on that particular pass, it's Ruben Signs, and they pick up about 8. Clock is running. Remember, they do have 2 timeouts, so we're going to be down to about 40 seconds right now. And there are trips over on the right side, one back in the backfield. Spread formation, and this time quarterback keeper, and the quarterback's going to run out at the 5-yard line, runs laterally, and loses about 4.
Yeah, nothing doing there. Weslaco had him dead to right, strung him out all the way down the left side. It was Axel Caramena who took him out at the end there.
3rd down, 6.
3rd and 6, 29 seconds left.
All right.
But he did get out of bounds and stop the clock.
Now that was good. You saw a little bit of a veteran savvy there, knowing to get the ball out of bounds and not try to throw some wild pass deep in your own territory and having it picked off. So he'll be at about the edge of the end zone up front this time when he gets the snap. And Ortiz will get the pass down to about the 7. They'll have to call timeout immediately. And
ouch! That was a fantastic play there by Jorge Pena to get the stop, but he is not getting up quickly.
No, he's shaking up.
Might have made the tackle with his stomach.
So we hope, obviously, that he's all right. So far, we haven't seen much of a cramp problem, but by the time this game started, the sun was pretty much down, and it was a nice, cool breeze.
Yeah, and luckily we've had cloud cover for most of the day here. Shoot, there was even some big rainstorms south of here today. We had some sea breeze showers, which we haven't really had much around here in the Rio Grande Valley for the last several weeks, but we got some good ones today.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Anytime we have decent weather anywhere I am at this time of year, I'm glad. I lived in the New Orleans area when Katrina hit yesterday 13 years ago, so we won't get into all that. Everybody knows the history, but anytime I can have pleasant weather at the end of August, even if it's a little windy, I have no problem.
Yeah, and of course Harvey hit the coastal bend a year ago, just 2 days ago. Devastating the towns of Rockport and Fulton. The school Rockport Fulton and Rockport, just north of Corpus Christi.
Never think all the work that J.J. Watt did, the Texans player, he wanted to raise, I think, a few $100,000 and raised like millions.
Millions and millions.
All right. Pena gets up under his own power and going off.
Yeah, to me it looked like maybe took one right in the sternum, maybe lost some breath, but he put a big hit on the receiver there for West.
That's right.
He had a big hit put on him.
By the way, Cowboys playing the Texans tonight, but probably no regulars playing at all. That's over in Houston. So we're ready for the regular season. NFL, after, I guess, today and maybe tomorrow, there might be a few games left. But then
I'm pretty sure the NFL likes to finish all their games up, the last ones tonight.
All right, so maybe tonight's it. All right, long pass down to the 40-yard line, incomplete.
He had a bead on it, but he didn't have enough room to catch it before he went out of bounds.
Angel Rodriguez, the intended receiver, down to 6.3 seconds.
Yeah, it's going to be 87 yards or bust for Nikki Rowe. This will be the last play of the game.
Do we have a team in the G League when we did those broadcasts called the 87ers or something like that?
Yeah, we sure did. We sure did.
For people that don't know, Clay and I did the G League last year for the Houston Rockets affiliate here in the Rio Grande Valley, the Vipers. So I think it was with Delaware or something like that.
They were the Delaware 87ers because Delaware was the first state, I believe, in 1987. But I'm also pretty sure that that team has changed names, if not locations. Of course, that happens a lot in the D League, as you can imagine.
Second down and 10. Now the ball on the 13-yard line, and we have motion left to right. Vasquez gets the ball, goes up the middle, and that will be the end of the quarter as he picks up a couple. Actually, it was Lopez that time, so they have switched backs. And on the tackle that time, it was Gonzalez, I believe, on the tackle.
What a fantastic defensive effort from this Weslaco High School football team, coming out here and holding what is expected to be one of the higher scoring teams in the Valley to 0 points in the first half. Weslaco's defense has a lot to be proud of as they head to the halftime locker room with a 7-0 lead.
And it was talk about the one play we had the score.
Well, I mean, that one play was smart. It was you had two receivers over on the left side. The first receiver blocked for Devin Dana. Dana caught the ball right at the line of scrimmage, and the block was perfect. Went in about 12, 13 yards for the touchdown, and that was on the very first drive of the game for the Weslaco offense. It came right after the onside kick was recovered. The turnover by Rowe. The turnover by Rowe, the first one, leads to the only score of the game, as the Panthers lead the Warriors now at halftime 7-0.
All right, coming up in just a moment, Carlos Robledo and also Mike Gonzalez will have a halftime show for us. We look forward to that. And, of course, we'll be back with second half play. For Clay Williams, I'm Scott Harrison. It's halftime. Weslaco Panthers leading the host Nikki Rowe Warriors 7-0. This is a K-West production.
Before David Lozano started practicing law, he was a student at Weslaco ISD. He participated in UIL athletics. He was a regional qualifier. He earned college credits through the dual enrollment program. After high school, he attended the University of Texas before graduating from St. Mary's School of Law. Now he helps people in need as an attorney. WISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For David Lozano, Weslaco ISD was the right choice.
All right, well, after one half of football, it is the Weslaco Panthers 7 and the McAllen Rowe Warriors 0. We thought maybe that we were going to have a shootout here because the Panthers came out in their first possession and scored, but no, it's been a low-scoring affair here against, as we are at McAllen Memorial Stadium. Carlos Romero along with Mike Gonzalez with the K-West halftime show. And Mike, it started off with a onside kick.
Yeah.
The Panthers came out with an onside kick. They actually kicked the ball out of bounds. First there was a penalty, and then there was an onside kick. Take us through that.
Yeah, what a gutsy call by Coach Salinas. Decided, okay, you're going to play that game. McAllen Rowe decided, okay, we're going to make you re-kick it. So Coach Salinas said, fine, we'll go ahead and re-kick it. Kicked it right to a McAllen Rowe special teamer. Dropped the ball. Weslaco High recovers right at the 50-yard line. Put themselves a terrific drive. Got about 3 or 4 first downs, led by Jacob Cavazos. And Panthers scored first possession of the season.
Yeah, Devin Denna was able to take it in from, 7 yards out, score a touchdown, 8 yards out. We'll give him proper credit there to make it 7. And then that's been pretty much it. It's been a defensive battle since then. And the Weslaco Panthers moved the ball pretty nicely, but they played real conservatively offensively. Nothing deep down the field or anything like that.
Being that this is only the first game, a lot of the coaches don't like to open the playbook right away, so everything has been conservative as far as throwing the football. And Jacob has completed 3 out of 6 with a touchdown pass, as we saw earlier. And everything has been underneath. The wind has been a factor in this game as far as the kick game. If you notice, a couple of opportunities for both Weslaco and Nikki Rowe to kick some field goals. They decided to go for it on 4th down, and I think the wind has something to do with it. But again, you got to give credit to both defensive units so far.
It's been a solid effort by the Weslaco Panthers for a first game. The only real issue they've had, penalties, and they've come at pretty bad times for the Panthers as well.
Exactly, Carlos. But even through that, they've been able to overcome those penalties. So we thought perhaps Nikki Rowe was going to maybe go down there and score due to some penalties on the Panther defense, and yet the Panther defense stepped up and made a big-time 4th down stop in the end zone. Jaden Kanab with a knockdown on the throw to the end zone to keep the score 7-0.
Jeremy Coronado didn't suit out. He was hurt in practice. We weren't sure if he was going to suit out or not, but he hasn't. So it's been mostly Kanab who's been taking the handoffs here tonight, and he's done an excellent job.
Yeah, he's going behind Cody Rodriguez, leading the way on the offensive line, just following the guy, and you see some big holes. He had a couple of nice runs. He has a 16-yard run. I have him so far, Carlos, unofficially at 42 yards. Jacob Cavazos, I have him for 46 yards unofficially. So the key word here is balance.
Yeah.
You have balance on the running game with Jeremy out tonight. That's pretty good there by Coach Salinas. Pretty good job on calling the plays and balancing the offense out. And, they've been able to move the ball pretty well, I think.
Let's talk a little bit about that defense once again, because we talked about it during the scrimmages, how they've played very, very well. Only gave up 1 touchdown in the 2 scrimmages, and so here we are, another half of play, real live football now, and still a goose egg on the board for the defense.
And it starts with Marco Noriega. He's playing in mid-season form. I wouldn't doubt that he has double-digit tackles already in this game. He's all over the place, both open field and team tackles. Outstanding job by the secondary with the tackles. We've seen number 8 there, also making Raul Camarena making a few tackles there. I think defensive coordinator, first-year defensive coordinator Ernie Alonso is doing a terrific job. I mean, it's situational football they're playing. Nikki Rowe, when they're 3rd and long, they'll give up some plays underneath, but they don't give up the big plays, and I think that's key there, and that's smart football by the unit.
They did give up 1 deep pass down the field. It was late here in the half. The defense was able to rebound and stop the drive and force them to I think they were out on downs after that possession, didn't end up in a touchdown. Only 1 really big play on the offensive side of the ball for McAllen Rowe.
And this is a squad, Carlos, that last year scored over 30 points a game 6 times. So, like you say, the goose egg, holding them to a goose egg in the first half. I mean, that really, really says a lot about the unit who enter this year perhaps underrated. They're making a statement so far.
They're no-name defense, so to speak, but they have a lot of seniors on that defensive line, and then also those linebackers, with Mario Noriega. Marco Noriega, I should
Right.
say, leading the way. We've talked about him all season long, all summer long, and I think we're going to continue with that.
Absolutely. We got to mention Roy Trevino. He's been a part of some of those plays as well. He's been also on the offensive side of the ball. He has about 2-3 carries. So that shows you there that they're going to utilize his talent there on both sides of the ball. So we got to give credit to Roy as well to contributing to tonight.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and wrap up our halftime show right here. We'll take a look at the band. They're facing the other direction. They're facing the McAllen Road crowd, which is customary whenever you're on the road. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the Panther Corps here for Weslaco. And then after that, we'll send it up to Scott and Clay for the second half. For Mike Gonzalez, I'm Carlos Robledo. We'll see you guys next time right here on KWES.
Before Clarissa Renteria was a dentist, she was a student at Weslaco ISD. She was a cheerleader, played softball, and started college early through the dual enrollment program. She graduated from UTPA before earning her degree from the University of Texas School of Dentistry in Houston. Now she is Dr. Renteria, creating beautiful smiles at Professional Dental Group. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For Dr. Clarissa Renteria, WISD was the right choice.
Warrior fans, get on your feet. Here come the mighty Warriors.
And here come the Panthers back on the field. Of course, Nikki Rowe coming out too. We are live from McAllen Veterans Memorial Stadium in McAllen, Texas, along with Clay Williams making his debut as our color analyst. I'm Scott Harrison, and at halftime, it is the Weslaco Panthers shutting out the Nikki Rowe Warriors 7-0. It has been a lot of fun football if you're a Panthers fan. And Clay, again, welcome aboard. Only one score in the first half, maybe a little surprising, but again, a lot of fun, as we said, for Panthers fans.
Yeah, absolutely. These two teams definitely feeling each other out in the first half of the first game of the first day of high school football that counts here in the state of Texas. Weslaco coming up strong with that having to re-kick their first kickoff and deciding to go with the onside kick. Coach Salinas' gamble paid off. Weslaco came up with it at the 50-yard line. The Panthers drove it all the way down and ended up with a bubble screen from about 10 yards out to Devin Dina, and that was the score. And that was all she wrote. The first drive of the game provided the only score of the game thus far. Otherwise, it's been a defensive back and forth in this game. Nikki Rowe started to get their offense heating up a little bit in that second quarter. Had a couple of big passes, including one to Lorenzo Lopez that was probably the longest play of the game so far on a pass from Jonas Ortiz. But, it's bend and don't break for that Weslaco defense, and that's why they are shutting out a team that is supposed to be one of the highest scoring teams in the Valley this year, the Nikki Rowe Warriors.
And did you know that Nikki Rowe scored 30 or more points in 5 games last year?
Absolutely, absolutely, and a lot of those were coming from the arm of Jonas Ortiz, who has, pretty much been limited as the quarterback for the Warriors here by this ferocious Panthers defense. The defensive backs have been doing a great job. They've got the 7-0 lead, and they'll receive the kickoff to begin the second half.
That's right. They are going to get it back by the north end zone, if you're familiar with this stadium. And again, we are proud to bring this to you tonight, a KWES production, and it is going to be a full kickoff, and it's going to look like it may roll out of bounds around the 10-yard line.
So it goes down to the 4-yard line is where it went out of bounds. So it looks, I would imagine Weslaco is going to have, are they going to have Nikki Rowe re-kick it?
I'll remember.
Yeah, I know.
When Weslaco re-kicked it,
this is exactly
the same
what
scenario.
The same scenario in the
they
first
wound up
first
with
half.
it on the onside kick and got it at midfield, and as you mentioned, marched it downfield, and Denna got about an 8-yard touchdown pass.
I got penalty from the previous re-kick.
All right, re-kick. So
that's a smart move. That you basically have to have that, and so now instead of kicking from the 40, the Rowe Warriors will be kicking from the 35.
do you think you'll see more passing by Rowe here in the second half?
Interesting. I'm not sure. The Rowe receivers, and they are, a talented bunch, and they are a senior-laden bunch, but they have had real problems getting open against this defensive back core of Weslaco. And if they can't get open, then Rowe is going to have to try and go 3 yards in a cloud of dust with Lalo Vasquez at running back.
And remember, cloud of dust, as far as Weslaco, Jeremy Coronado's not even playing tonight due to an injury. Just to be careful, they kept him out tonight. And imagine when he comes back for Weslaco.
Yeah, they were able to eat up a lot of yards in that first drive, but since then, nobody's been able to really get an offensive going.
All right, the ball will be taken this time, and the ball is going to go up toward midfield, down at about the 44-yard line.
Fantastic return by Roy Trevino, taking it all the way up to their own 42-yard line. Some great field position. Weslaco's had great field position most of today, but
yeah, they've won the battle of field position.
They definitely have, but they've only got one score to show for it.
And what do you think about the quarterbacking so far for Weslaco?
Jacob Cavazos was able to get a lot of yards in those first 2 drives, but since those first 2 drives in the first quarter, the Rowe defense has been putting the clamps on, and so he hasn't been able to run the way he's wanted to. Peyton Kanab was getting a lot of yards in those first 2 drives, but since then, the Rowe defense has put the clamps on him as well. We'll see what Michael Salinas' game plan is for this offense, and apparently it's not for them to stop doing false starts. Delay a game.
All right, so they're going to start out 1st and 15 back around their own 37-yard line. That's not how you want to start.
Absolutely not. They had 5 false starts in the first half, did the Weslaco offense, and now to start with a delay of game, not exactly what you'd like.
And this time it's Cavazos, and he is going to pass it off to Jaden Cavazos, and he is only going to pick up a yard or 2.
Pass completed, number 3, Jaden Cavazos.
The Nikki Rowe defense able to pick up those little passes in the flats very quickly. They're not huge, the defensive backs for Rowe. They're definitely smaller than on the whole than Weslaco's, but what they are is extremely fast. And
Alonzo
they close
with the tackle,
on the ball.
by the way.
They close on the ball extremely fast.
All
there
right,
goes
this
Roy
time,
Trevino.
Yeah, Trevino has it, and he is going to go over to about the 44-yard line, but there is a flag on the play, picked up about 4 or 5, but it may be coming back. Yeah,
that's in the part of the field where you usually think it's going to be holding. And the Rowe Warriors coming up out of the pile there looking pretty good. Bobby Flores says it's against, Coach Bobby Flores says it's against Weslaco.
Salinas told us, Coach Salinas, before the game, we might see Trevino run the ball more tonight because of Coronado.
63 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 2nd down.
Weslaco keeps going backwards on this first drive of the second half, and they're going to end up being on their own 30-yard line when they were on their own 42.
2nd down and 22, opening minute of the second half. So, you want maybe heave it this time, go for a big play, or a little screen pass.
They've been playing field position all day. I've got to think they're going to try and get some better field position. I don't think they want to really try anything crazy.
Well, Cavazos has it. He's going to keep it, and he's going to go out at about the 37-yard line, picks up about 7.
And that's his best gain running the ball on a planned run since the first quarter. A very good ball fake there, kept it in the running back's stomach for a long time before he was able to take it out and find some room heading towards the right side. It's an 8-yard gain, but it's still 3rd and 14. Once again, I still don't think you do anything crazy.
Ball at the 38.
Just try to get it to midfield. If you get the first down, great, but at least try to get some yardage so you're not punting from so deep in your own end.
Have to get it to about the 48-yard line of the Warriors. Pass drops back about 5 steps, and he tries to get it down and is no good to Cavazos. Tried to get it to him at about the 45-yard line of Nikki Rowe.
That's Jorge Pena once again with a great play for this Nikki Rowe cornerback core. Fantastic play for Pena. He was right there, did not push Cavazos out of the way, didn't use his hands, but when the ball was a little high, he was able to come from behind and knock it out of Cavazos' hands and keeping Weslaco from the first down.
So it is going to be Jaden Cavazos. He'll be punting from about his own 30-yard line. Gets it up there, and the ball is going to bounce down at about the 30-yard line where it's going to be down. So that's where it's going to be 1st and 10 for Nikki Rowe, their first possession of the second half. 10:36 remaining, and it is the Panthers ahead 7-0. How critical is it to see the Warriors do something on this opening drive?
Well, for the Warriors, it's extremely critical. They haven't been able to do anything against this Weslaco defense all night long. You know, that one long pass is the one that they completed to Lorenzo Lopez in the second quarter. That's the only big game that they've had, and this is a team that is built on going the vertical game, you know, with Jonas Ortiz. They haven't been able to do anything. They have to come out in this second half and prove that they can, you know, put the ball up against Weslaco if they want anything to happen.
Bobbles the snap, now loses it, and Jonas will get it down at about the 27-yard line, saves it from being turned over, but loses about 4 yards on that fumble. It was a bad play from the beginning.
Scott, can you tell this is the first game of the year? Both of these teams came out of the halftime locker room. Both of these teams listened to their coaches and said, you know, take care of the ball, you know, make sure you win the turnover battle, and then both teams come out here and make bad mistakes at the beginning of each of their first offensive drives.
Loss of 4, 2nd down and 14 at the 27-yard line of the Warriors. Now moving toward his right is the quarterback, and it looks like he does get a complete pass down to the 41.
Found a seam, did Ruben Salinas right there at the 40-yard line. Was in between two of the, you know, maybe the linebacker and the safety who are both over on that side. Found the in-between, and Ortiz gets maybe, I think, only his second first down of the game passing.
Yeah, 15 yards.
Yeah, that's a big play for the Rowe Warriors. Weslaco needs to step it up here.
All right, 1st and 10 at the 42. Slot in motion from the right to left, and there is a big hit right at the line of scrimmage.
Marco Noriega has been the man in the middle for the Rowe Warriors. The offensive line, they're going to see Marco Noriega in their nightmares tonight as many times as he's come straight up the middle and just punished whatever running back has been coming through for Rowe. That was a huge play by Noriega.
Loss of 4, back to the 38, 2nd down and 14. Again, motion. Looked like it was going to be a jet sweep, but handed off to, well, actually it was, I believe, a jet sweep.
Yeah, jet sweep.
Yeah, did not get much.
Is that Javier Rivero? No, that was Noe Ramirez.
Yep.
Seth Sanchez.
Wow, Seth Sanchez went all the way to the outside. He wasn't fooled by that at all, the defensive lineman for Weslaco, with some good movement down the line to catch up with that one.
By the way, Ramirez last year had 408 yards in receptions, 7 touchdowns, 33 catches. So Ramirez is a guy to watch out for. It is now 3rd down and 15. I believe a loss of 1. So ball back at the 37-yard line. We have,
you know, Rowe's going deep here.
Yep. And there we go. You talked about deep, going to the trip side. There was a couple guys open, but couldn't get it to either one. And ball just falls there, and nobody had a chance to catch it.
That was odd. Neither one. There were 3 receivers going down the left side for Nikki Rowe, but only 2 of them looked back for the ball.
Yeah.
And that's the side that Jonas Ortiz had to roll out to. Oh,
personal foul?
Roughing the passer on Samuel Perez.
15-yard mark off.
Wow.
So the ball will go near midfield. Actually, over the midfield stripe down to about the 48-yard line.
What a lucky break for, you know, it's tough. You saw how far out of the pocket Jonas Ortiz was. And, you know, defensive linemen are looking for that sack, looking to make that play. And Samuel Perez is a big man. It's kind of tough to stop that kind of weight. It's just plain old physics.
Motion, right to left.
That's
and interception. Easy interception. And it's going to be returned to at least midfield at the 50, the 45, the 40. Now going down to the 30-yard line and finally knocked out of bounds near the 25-yard line.
With the biggest play of the night right there. He was Johnny on the spot. He was right there in the middle. There is a Rowe Warrior down on the field. Looks like one of the offensive linemen maybe got hit as Weslaco was coming down. Flag on the play coming back as well.
Is that the first turnover?
Other than the the onside kick, in the very first
besides
play
special
of the game.
teams turnovers.
Yes, that was the very first turnover of the game besides the special teams.
And that's kind of amazing opening game of the season.
It really is. There have been plenty of penalties.
Yeah.
But no turnovers up until this minute. But Ortiz just let a duck right over the middle, and Axel Camarena didn't have to move at all.
And the injured player is up and walking.
Yeah, that's Alok Zimmerman. He's one of the big junior linemen on this squad. One of the guys, the one thing that Rowe had to worry about this year was, a lot of their offensive line graduated last year, but they've got a lot of guys, juniors, guys who were big in junior varsity who are going to try and make the plays on that offensive line. But
We have a sideline warning on the road coaching staff.
sideline warning on the road coaching staff.
Congratulations to Danae Rodriguez of
All right, it is going to be a 1st and 10
driving school driver
for Weslaco,
and adults.
and they are down at about the 28-yard line of Nikki Rowe. Get a couple first downs, they could be in the end zone. 8:25 remaining, third quarter. Panthers ahead 7-0 against the Warriors. I know a lot of people predicted, again, the prognosticators, that Rowe would have at least 21 points tonight, but they've struggled.
They have definitely struggled on offense, and that was just a bad pass. It was ill-advised, and
There was no one around, nobody around. It was like he was throwing right to him.
Axel Camarena did not have to move his feet to make that interception.
No.
It came right to him.
And Kanab picks up a couple yards on the play up the middle. So it'll be 2nd and about 8.
Stop for the Warriors, 35.
And again, good crowd here.
Second down, 8.
I think you mentioned what the stadium holds, about 13,000 people.
Yeah, 13,500. Once upon a time, they used to have a college all-star game here, the Cactus Bowl.
Division II, right?
Yeah, Division II football.
All right.
Beautiful fake.
Cavazos down the field to Jaden Cavazos, and it's a touchdown. 25-yard touchdown. It is Cavazos to Cavazos, Jacob to Jaden, and 6 more points for Weslaco.
What an incredible pass for Jaden Cavazos. When I saw that ball, it looked like it was going to overthrow Jaden Cavazos, but Jaden Cavazos able to come up with it. I'm going to take another look on the field here on the big screen. It looks like he just got his fingertips on it, held it in, and somehow came down without letting it go. What a beautiful catch and a great ball fake by Jacob Cavazos. If Jacob Cavazos hadn't made that ball fake, then Jaden Cavazos would not have been able to get the separation between himself and the defensive back in order to come up with that play. Unbelievable, great play. Weslaco, a passing touchdown. Once upon a time, you never saw Weslaco make passing touchdowns, but times have changed. Michael Salinas' offense paying dividends here tonight, and it's a 14-point lead with under 8 minutes to go in the third quarter.
So Denna gets an 8-yard touchdown pass on the opening series of the game. And then we see a 25-yard touchdown reception by Jaden Cavasso. So Jacob Cavazos already 2 touchdowns on the season, and we're not even through 3 quarters. And Cavazos last season, not even sure of what his touchdown total was. I'll have to try to look that up. I know he rushed for about 4 touchdowns and played about 4 games. I'm not even sure he threw for a touchdown. He did throw for 1. Threw for 1 last season.
So
yeah,
you mentioned it was the first drive of each half. Yeah. It's also a drive that came as a result of a Rowe turnover.
Wow, yeah, that's right.
Each
capitalize on the turnovers.
Capitalize on the turnovers. Coach Michael Salinas will tell you, if you capitalize on the turnovers, you're more than likely to win the game. And that's exactly what's happened. 14 points on the board for the Panthers, all 14 of them coming as the result of a turnover by the Nikki Rowe Warriors.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a road game. They're coming home next week. What motivation to come home for your first home game, to win on the road when most people thought you were the underdog. Now, again, there's a lot of time left. We know that, and Nikki Rowe's a great team. They're not out of it by any shade of the imagination, but it's still exciting to be ahead this late in the game when you're the underdog.
Yeah, and the other thing is that, 14 points down with 8 minutes left in the third quarter, that kind of takes the run game away from Rowe, And now Weslaco can concentrate on making sure there's no deep balls. Ooh.
Ball brought up to about the 25-yard line. It looked like a good, clean hit, taking the back out of bounds.
Yeah, close to the out of bounds, but definitely a clean hit there by Diego Martinez.
So we'll have 1st and 10 coming up. The Warriors will have it on the 25-yard line. I believe it might have been Noe Ramirez.
Yeah, Noe Ramirez with a pretty good return there. Getting, it could have been much worse field position. It's not great field position, but it could have been much, much worse if it hadn't been a good run back.
Well, we talked
Ramirez.
a while back about how valuable player Ramirez is to this squad. And again, spread up formation. Motion right now, right to left. Screen pass, and the ball will go up to about the 25-yard line. Not much gain. And on that particular play, it was Lorenzo Lopez, one of the running backs, getting it. And it looks like he didn't get anything at all.
Yeah, 0 gain on that play. And like I said, Weslaco's going to be sniffing that out on defense.
So it's going to be 2nd and 10. Right now, Nikki Rowe moving to the north, moving from our left to right. We are sitting in the visiting stands, across from the press box. A big sack. Ball is loose. It looks like Nikki Rowe got it, but what a hit to bring the ball loose. It looks like Vasquez recovered it.
Yeah, and what a hit right there by Benito Juarez, the defensive end.
Well, remember, he had 3.5 sacks last season.
Well, he just got another one right there. And this Weslaco crowd standing up and applauding the effort from this Panthers defense. These guys have been purple people eaters all night long, and they have come up with a huge stop to, keep the momentum all on their side.
All right, so it's going to be 3rd and 17, ball at the 18-yard line. And it is Jonas going back to pass.
Oh, what
a catch near midfield. That catch was about 30 yards.
That was an amazing catch, going up and coming down with it somehow. That's, was that Partita? We'll get another look at that one.
First down for the Warriors.
But a first down for the Warriors when they desperately needed it. Looked like Weslaco was going to keep them. Oh, and there goes Vasquez.
Vasquez,
up the middle.
Nice run. Gets about 12 yards down to the 40-yard line. Has the ball in Weslaco territory. A big play like that can really motivate a team and change the momentum.
Number 63, offense.
Oh,
and then a penalty like that can really kill the momentum.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's Alok Zimmerman.
So that brings the ball back into Nikki Rowe territory.
So we've seen some ups and downs here, some emotional plays from Rowe. First getting the huge first down to midfield.
Ball back to about the 38-yard line in Rowe territory.
10-yard mark off against the
First and 20. Midway through the third quarter, 14-0. It's Weslaco on top. Jonas Ortiz with the pass, throws laterally, and the back goes nowhere. The receiver goes nowhere.
Did you see Marco Noriega on that one? The guy's a guided missile. He's a heat seeker.
We mentioned the first half had 79 tackles to lead the team last season.
And comes up with a huge hit there. That's a receiver who's going to think twice next time they catch something. There's Noriega right there, getting a little spotlight on the huge scoreboard here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. He has been everywhere tonight for Weslaco.
2nd and 23. Back to passes Ortiz, feeling pressure, gets away. Now he's going to scramble and go out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. And the man that almost made the tackle is not feeling too good right now.
Yeah,
he's withering in pain.
Yeah, that looks like it might have been Raul Camarena.
By the way, Noriega finally made the tackle, so another tackle for Noriega.
Another tackle for Noriega, yeah.
But right now our concern is on the injured player. And again, when he was making the tackle, or trying to make the tackle, the attempted tackle, he dived, and then you could see he was in pain immediately.
Yeah, that is Raul Camarena.
Oh, yeah, and he's,
Hope your injury is not too serious.
Yeah, we hope not. It looks like he's putting at least a little pressure on both legs, being
Yeah.
helped off. But he definitely jammed something. Being helped off. He done a nice job tonight.
He has. He's done a good job.
Don't want to see him
You know,
out.
We've seen a couple of injuries so far early on for this. Early on, Diego Martinez got injured on that first onside kick, but he has come back, taped up heavily on that right ankle.
Yeah,
But
he's,
now Raul
Third
Camarena.
down and 24 for the Warriors.
yeah, he's walking very slowly off, being assisted by a couple people, so let's wish him the best. 5:11 remaining here in the third quarter. 3rd and 24, a ball at the 34-yard line of Nikki Rowe. Just can't get anything generated. Penalties, Big plays by the defense of Weslaco. We knew Weslaco's defense was going to be one of their keys this year, especially that defensive line.
But they have come up huge against a team
Right.
that's supposed to score a lot of points.
And a reception, ball goes down to about the 37-yard line.
Ruben Salinas
Right.
on the catch there in the flats. And the flats is the only place where
Brought down by number 2, Roy Trevino.
And Trevino in on the tackle. So it's going to be 4th and long.
that seems to be a change in the way
Yeah.
a lot of coaches are thinking these days, Scott, is taking your best players and going ahead and putting them on both sides
Yeah.
of the ball. You know, it used to be guys thought, you know, platoon if you possibly can. Don't let anybody go both ways if you don't have to. But now, you know, even with the big numbers that some of these 6A teams have, they're definitely going both ways.
So it was a gain of 3, 4th and 21 from the 37. Punt goes back, and Denna has it, and Denna is going to pick up a couple yards down at the 27-yard line. It looks like they're working on the ankle right now of the injured player on the sidelines.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Raul Camarena being looked at by the Weslaco
Looks like a
Panthers
left ankle.
training staff. Yeah.
Brought down by number 24, Antoinette Garza.
And so we're going to have first down coming up.
That was a little dangerous for Devin Denna right there, not making the fair catch there. There
Right.
were a lot
Yeah.
of green shirts in his vicinity.
Garza made the tackle, by the way.
Yeah.
Andres Garza, linebacker. So it is going to be 1st and 10. Ball at about the 28-yard line. Weslaco defending the north goal here, going right to left. And at that time, not much running room at all. And it's Kanab brought down
Now on the carry
basically
for
nothing.
the Panthers brought down by 99, Eric Perales. for
And
the
that
Warriors.
time, it's one of the high numbers that brings him down.
Right, at this point with a
Eric Furless.
14-point lead, what Weslaco wants to do is just extend their drives as long as they possibly can. And you need to get some sort of positive yardage on every single play if you want that to happen.
Throwing over to the right.
Yeah, found Isaac Villarreal in the flats, and he
Villarreal-
found some room.
Villarreal looks like he got a first down. Looks like he picked up maybe 12 yards. A lot of it on his own. What is it? Yards after catch, yak?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was running over those guys like a yak, going up the Himalayas in Nepal.
I've never heard the yak term be used to describe that particular animal. But you did a good job. You have a unique talent of doing that, and I always enjoy it, Clay. It's
I
always
just can't spell. I always thought catch started with a K. Look at Cavazos there. Nice fake.
Yeah.
Gets 3 or 4 yards.
right. Cavazos was at 39, gets down to about the 43, and so that'll make it 2nd down and 6 after the quarterback keeper. But the clock is running. It's about to go under 3 minutes here in the third quarter. Again, the Panthers up 14-0. Couple touchdown passes by Jacob Cavazos to Denna and to Jaden Cavazos. Difference in the game.
Yeah, the first one, that bubble screen to Denna, first quarter, and then that beautiful ball fake that opened up. Cavazos down, both of them down the left side.
It looks like it was Denna from the far side of the field. We're looking at the far end. Yeah, Denna got it, and he is going to be out after about a 6-yard gain. Got to be close to the first down. Had to get about 7.
Yeah, it looks like about 3 yards left, 3rd and
Okay.
3. There's no problem there.
Okay.
Once again, look at the clock ticking.
So I'll
It
give him
is
3.
ticking.
Got knocked out a little earlier than I thought. 3rd and 3, ball at the 46. That did stop the clock, though, so if you're a Nikki Rowe fan, you're happy about that. Both teams do have their full complement of timeouts. Plenty of time left here in the game. And again, waiting the snap, but there is a penalty as the ball is snapped.
Coach Salinas grabbing his
False start.
grabbing his headset
Play 3rd down.
because he knows that's number 6. 6 false starts for this Weslaco offense tonight, and that's exactly when he did not need it to happen. Going from a 3rd and 3 to a 3rd and 8 when you're
Yeah.
trying to kill the clock is just, it's frustrating. So frustrating.
Ankle still being taped up, by the way.
For Raul Camarena, yeah.
Yeah, they're still working on his ankle on the sidelines. And that may be a good sign, though, that he may come back in.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, trips on the left. Cavazos back to pass. Now he's going to tuck the ball under his arm. Still will decide to pass it, though, and gets a receiver open at the 40-yard line. Good for the first down. And that was a nice
Fantastic.
play. And that play that time goes over to Diego Martinez.
Did you see the vision The vision for Jacob Cavazos, too many high school quarterbacks start rolling out and they just tuck and run. They don't even think about it. But Jacob Cavazos looked downfield and saw he had not only one, but two different receivers. He saw the one he could hit the easiest for the first down. He saw it was Diego Martinez, hit him on a perfect pass right between the numbers. That's some great vision. That's what you want to see from your quarterback, making the right decision.
Personal foul. 22, green.
Personal foul.
Personal foul.
Dead ball. Personal foul against
Dead ball
Nikki
foul
Rowe.
on Alex Rodriguez. That's
First down.
So the ball's going to be at the 40. I'm
guess
not sure why it wasn't moved. I don't know.
Offsetting penalties.
Okay, must have been. We must
Had
have
to
been. Yeah,
been.
had to been something like that. Not quite sure, but it is a first down nevertheless. And this time on the sweep, it is going to be taken down to about the 35-yard line.
Roy Trevino, I believe.
Yeah.
Roy Trevino doing yeoman's work on both sides of the ball tonight.
Yeah, picked up 5, but there is a whistle. Is he down? Trevino down?
Roy Trevino.
Player is down.
Yeah, I'm afraid it might be.
Yeah.
That was a crazy play anyway because the line crew, the chain gang wasn't anywhere near close to ready when Weslaco snapped the ball.
Well, we were confused what exactly the penalty was.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised that Weslaco. I was surprised that the referees let Weslaco snap the ball. To tell you the truth.
Okay. Now we see, who was the injured player again? The defensive player. I'm sorry.
Raul Camarena.
Yeah, Camarena is putting his shoe back on.
Yep.
And he is still on the bench being looked at, in the medical bench. But putting the shoe back on could be a good sign.
Yeah,
He's been all taped up.
Just like it was a good sign for Diego Martinez, who was able to come back in this game as well.
But now our concerns, it looks like it was Trevino. We'll double check. We're not 100% sure yet, but from where the player went down. And, of course, the field here honoring the death of John McCain, longtime U.S. Senator. His flag is at half-mast.
Yeah. Honoring the great senator from the state of Arizona. Here at what's now called DQ Fan Field at McAllen Veterans Memorial Stadium. That's a mouthful to say.
DQ has a lot of mouthful of stuff. we gave them a plug. They could bring us a free sample, right?
Yeah. I'll take an Oreo Blizzard to go, please.
Wouldn't that be funny if someone brought one up here by the end of the game?
It would be funny, and it would be much appreciated. But let's get you some scores from around the Rio Grande Valley.
Okay, Trevino, is he getting up?
Yeah, Trevino.
Big hand.
Yeah, big hand for him from the Weslaco faithful. Edinburgh Vela is beating up on Laredo United. It's 34-13 right now. We've got a barn burner out in La Jolla. They've just gone to the fourth quarter. La Jolla Juarez Lincoln leading Rio Hondo 21-14. And you might say that's a 6A versus a 4A, but if you know the numbers, they're about equal.
Yeah. And by the way, Trevino, I just want to say he jogged off gingerly, but under his own power.
Under his own power. Yeah. Meanwhile, Brownsville Hanna still with a lead on McAllen Memorial. Some people might think that's an upset, but it's one that I called. I thought Hanna would beat McAllen Memorial at home.
Cavazos, screen pass, and the ball is going to go to the 30.
It's Peyton
Knab. He's going to get in the end zone. 35-yard screen pass to Peyton Knab. Remember, we talked about last year he had an 80-yard touchdown run on a kickoff. This time takes the screen pass 35 yards and gets the touchdown.
Beautiful play. Knab finding the seam. Watch where he is and watch where he goes. Waiting for his blockers to give him the extra room he needs, and he takes advantage of it. Now, he's not the fastest guy in the world, but when you've got good blocking downfield, you don't need to be the fastest. Peyton Knab, that's 3 different receivers scoring for Weslaco High tonight. They've got a 21-0 lead.
Extra point is good.
Yeah, we are close to the end of the third quarter.
Well, you know what? Knab, when he got injured last year, he was a nice young man. I felt so bad for him. Thought he had a lot of promise out there. And, of course, Santiago did come in and picked up a lot of the slack. I thought both those two guys were going to have pretty good years. And now we see, my faith in Knab has been rewarded, at least in this first game.
You have to look at it and say that, yes, this is a fantastic job by Weslaco's offense to take what Nikki Rowe is giving them, scoring twice here in the second half. But in my opinion, a lot of this is coming from the fantastic play
Yes.
of Weslaco's defense.
I know what you're going to say, yes.
They are keeping Nikki Rowe to 3 and out. They are giving their offense the ball with great field position. This Weslaco defense coming in here against the Nikki Rowe team that's supposed to pass the ball, as you said, scoring over 30 points a game last year.
5
and
times.
Coming in here and holding them to a big, old, fat goose egg. If you are a Weslaco Panthers fan, you have to be impressed, you have to be happy, and you have to be, forget happy, you have to be ecstatic about this performance by the Weslaco defense and the Weslaco offense taking advantage of it. That Nikki Rowe defense, they are tired. They have been out there way too long. I told you that they wanted to extend. I mean, think about how long that drive was.
Yes.
That drive was about 70 yards and about 7 minutes. And that's a long time for Nikki Rowe's defense to be out there. They have got to be gassed.
All right. Kickoff from the 40. It'll come down at about the 10-yard line, picked up on the run. And now the ball will be advanced toward the left side, but not past the 20, so not much gain.
Great coverage by the Weslaco special teams unit. Excellent, not giving Nikki Rowe any field position to work with. This defense has been fantastic. And I'm not sure if you know this, Scott. I don't want to put you on the spot,
right.
but isn't there a new defensive coordinator for Weslaco this year?
I believe so.
I think it's a coach who was already on the staff last year, but I think it's a new defensive coordinator. But it's obvious that the defense is the stars of the game tonight for Weslaco. They are doing a fantastic job.
All right, so Nikki Rowe has it 1st and 10 at their own 20. 1:43 remaining here in the third quarter. It's been all Weslaco so far in the second half. Little screen pass dumped off at the 15-yard line, and the ball will be moved out to about the 25, gain of only about 5. And that time, Lorenzo Lopez.
Yeah, stringing it out, that Weslaco defense, making them, they had to go 15 yards to get that 5.
That's right. And we heard that Lopez, might do a lot of running. So far, we've seen him more on screen passes. But Bosquez, he's going to probably be the other runner besides Bosquez, Lopez. So 2nd and 7. They give him 3 ball, the 23-yard line.
Ooh, that was scary.
And that time pass incomplete.
And a beautiful coverage there by Raul Camarena.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's got his ankle all taped up, and he's back in there making the play. He's the guy who made sure that Rowe did not come up with that was a risky pass. That was coming right between 2 Weslaco defenders.
That was intended for Ruben Sines, and called his name.
But this is where we're at. We're a minute left in the third quarter, and Nikki Rowe needs to start taking some chances.
3rd and 7. Ball at the 23-yard line, and we have slots on each side. Going back to pass, and now scrambling is Cavazos. Gets a receiver at the 32 down to about the 35-yard line. Should be enough for the first down.
Ouch. Javier Rivera.
Yeah, Rivera.
Oh, no, Ruben Sines. Ruben Sines. That's a 9, not an 8, but he got nailed by Roy Trevino.
And I meant to say Ortiz on the pass play.
Yeah. Roy Trevino just leveled him after he made that catch. Well,
so ball is at the 35-yard line. Pick up about 12. 1st and 10.
It's a first down for the Rowe Warriors, but they need to start coming a little more fast and furious.
Jet sweep this time, going around the left side, and this time the ball is going to go up to about the 37-yard line, no more. A lot of running, like you say, about 15 yards, but only 2 gained north and south.
Yeah, Angel Rodriguez coming in motion, taking the handoff there, but not a whole lot of
Trevino
gain.
in on attack. Remember, he was banged up, so Trevino back in there.
Yeah, Weslaco defense, definitely one of the stars here, but the Weslaco high school training staff has been doing fantastic.
And they were nice enough
tonight.
to give me a cup of Gatorade before the game. I
Well,
was parched, so
that is another mark in their favor.
Yes, so they have earned a lot of points with me and you. So there is a pass thrown short that time, underthrown, but pressure. Let's give it
big
credit to
pressure
defense.
from Elijah Estevanes, who had a bead on Jonas Ortiz and was looking to plant him 6 feet under.
And that pass intended for Savage, David Savage.
Yeah, but Ortiz had no time. Estevanes was right on him from the word go. And this will be the last play of the third quarter.
I feel like I'm at a Tallahassee or Atlanta Braves game. You hear the little music for the Tomahawk Chop song, right? Am I correct?
Absolutely.
I know you're a Boston Red Sox fan. I know you got the Red Sox cup. But can we talk about another baseball team, or are we not allowed to?
I didn't know there were any other baseball teams. Not this year, anyway.
Yeah, well, the Red Sox are doing, you got a good team there. They're hanging tough. I think that was a group from Boston that once did Hanging Tough. Remember the New Kids on the Block?
I believe that's correct.
All right. And now
Jailbreak.
Jailbreak, yeah. That is going to be a big loss back to the 20-yard line.
Raul Camarena doesn't look any worse for wear from his injury, huh?
No,
he
not at all.
chased down Jonas Ortiz.
Ball was on the 37, loss of 17.
Looked like a cheetah taking down a gazelle on the savannah. Goodness, that was impressive.
We have just switched to the Discovery Channel from K-West right now. You know what we were talking about. Good for you. All right, but that is the end of the third quarter in all seriousness. And it is the Weslaco Panthers over the Nikki Rowe Warriors 21-0. And that quarter, I mean, what can you say? I'm going to describe it as just all, both defensively and offensively. 14-0 is what they outscored the Warriors. It was all the visitors.
Yeah, Weslaco's defense is just, they're doing whatever they want now. The offensive line for Rowe doesn't look like they can stop Weslaco and their penetration on any of these plays. And that's the thing is now the Warriors have to pass. Weslaco knows that, and they're taking advantage.
That's right. So far, I'll try to do this by memory. Denna had an 8-yard touchdown pass, but in this quarter, 25-yarder went to Jaden Cavazos, 35-yarder on a screen to Peyton Knab. That's the scoring summary, right?
That is your scoring summary. Fantastic job doing that from memory.
And I'm a terrible math person. So
forcing a punt.
Yeah. And this is going to go to Weslaco, bounces near midfield. It'll be down near midfield. So great field position. Remember, at the beginning of the first quarter, Weslaco got it to begin the quarter and went 50 yards for the touchdown with that 8-yard pass to Denna. Now, once again, they have it near midfield to start the fourth quarter. 49-yard line of the Warriors.
Weslaco, this game couldn't have gone any better for Weslaco, really. Despite, even putting aside any injuries that may have happened in this game, they have worn down. They have ground down McAllen Rowe into a fine powder. They have taken their defense. They have stopped any big plays for Rowe. They've had the two big plays, the one in the second quarter that was for about 23, 24 yards. They had the one that got them to midfield out of fourth down. That was a desperation play. But other than that, that's all that this Weslaco defense has let up. And they have kept Nikki Rowe's defense on the field for so long. It's just been a great game plan for Weslaco.
Jacob Cavazos feeling the pressure, just throws it away. That was a good heads-up play because he had no one open, had two defenders coming down on him, and he just threw it away.
Yeah, Jorge Barrera coming down strong on Jacob Cavazos. He had to throw it away, and like you say, good decision by the young man at quarterback.
So 2nd down and 10. And again, Jacob Cavazos, just a junior. So potentially another year from starting.
That's the most pressure we've seen on Cavazos during a pass play. Not that they're, not that there's been a ton of pass plays, but there's been several, and that's the most pressure we've seen Rowe put on him. I wonder if the offensive line for Weslaco isn't getting a little tired. I can tell you who is getting tired, the offensive line coach. Seeing 7, am I right?
Yeah.
7 false starts this game?
And that is not a lucky number for Coach Salinas.
Yeah. See, this is what a coach wants. He wants a good, solid win, but he wants enough bad stuff to happen to where he can just chew the team out coming up on Friday or Monday, whenever these guys get back at it.
Right.
He can look at this team and say, yeah, you did well against Nikki Rowe. Maybe you got the win if the fourth quarter result holds out, but 7 false starts.
2nd down and 7 it was, or 2nd down and 15 at the 46. Short pass over to Cavazos, Jaden Cavazos. So it's going to be 3rd and 13 now at the 48, very short gain.
I don't know if it's desperation, but this Rowe Warrior defense starting to play a little better, at least on this drive.
Yeah, you're right about that. But the clock is running into the first minute. And I think you mentioned earlier, that's one of the things. Ball control is going to be a key of what Weslaco wants to do here in the fourth quarter. They've got the points now, just try to control, but they're going to have to throw on 3rd down, and passes complete down to about the 42-yard line, and that is Denna. Denna has it a little short of the 1st down.
What great body control by Devin Denna to make the catch and somehow keep his feet in bounds in order to keep that in order to make that gain and give his team a chance to convert a 4th down.
Right. I apologize. Gain of 11. Ball is down to the 41-yard line, and they only need to pick up 2 or 3, right?
Yeah, it looks like a long 2.
Like the Panthers are going
All right,
for it.
Panthers will go for it. I don't really argue with this.
No, I can't argue with it. That's 4 down
Right.
territory.
Cavazos has it, and he's going to make it. He's going to be over the 40, down to the 35, 30. He's at the 25, and he will be down at the 20. Pickup of 21 yards on that quarterback keeper.
My goodness, right there. If Adrian Salinas hadn't come up with a big tackle there at the end, it would have been Jacob Cavazos celebrating in the end zone. As it is, it's a huge first down and more time off the clock. And Weslaco looking in control of this game.
No rushing touchdowns so far, although I believe Cavazos rushed for 314 yards and 4 touchdowns last year.
Well, we saw how many yards he got in that first quarter. Jacob Cavazos was gashing that road defense in that first quarter.
This time he has the ball, and he is looking for somebody. He's going to drop it off to his back, but misses him, Kanab. That was kind of his safety receiver, safety valve.
As a former offensive lineman, I'd like to recognize Francisco Alarcón right there for that. There was a road defender who was drawn a bead on Jacob Cavazos, and Alarcón just really knocked him.
Is that a pancake block?
It was a pancake because he hit the floor. It was legal. It was above the waist. It was a beautiful block by Francisco Alarcón. And as a former center, undersized as I may have been then, and I wouldn't be undersized now, but I appreciate that kind of play.
2nd down and 10, and this time Kanab gets it, tries to go up the middle, falls maybe forward for a yard. So it's going to be 3rd and long, 3rd and about 9. And that time on the stop, making the play was Jesse Garza, defensive lineman. Actually, they say it was a loss on the play, so it's going to be 3rd and 11. Actually lost one, didn't gain one. And this time, Trevino back in at running back. Kanab's going to get a break. But the clock continues to run under 10 minutes.
Weslaco's been able to, convert a lot of these long 3rd downs.
Right, Cavazos has it, but before he can get off the pass, there is a flag.
Please tell me not a false start.
Oh, so now they're behind the 8 ball, right? Because that's the 8th one. Eighth, what, false start penalty? We're guessing. We don't have an exact stat, but
it's
Yeah,
close.
it's close, yeah.
It's close.
According to our stats.
Yeah. If I know Coach Michael Salinas, he'll add 2 or 3 to whatever the final count is, whenever he gets these guys in the film room.
All right, so it is going to be, I believe, 3rd and 16. Ball at the 27-yard line. Again, 21-0, Panthers lead the Warriors.
You'd like to get the first down here, but you're so deep in their territory, you don't want to do anything stupid. No turnovers. Beautiful pass.
Pass goes over to the left side. And back is going to get down to the 15. I believe it's Denna for what I see.
It is Denna, and he made a beautiful move to get an extra 2 yards. It's not going to make a huge difference, but...
Now, where did he get down to? He got down to the 9-yard line?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be 4th and about 3.
Yeah.
4th and 4.
Right. So he gained over 10 yards.
Yeah, and once again, gave his team a chance to convert a possible 4th down. What's more important than converting the 4th down is keeping that clock moving.
Right.
Look at this move right here by Denna. He looks and goes, whoop,
Got
made
trips
2
on the
guys
right
miss.
side. Going to run to that right side where he had the trips. He's going to get down to the 5. He's to the 4. He's to the 2. He's going to fight his way into the end zone. Goes 14 yards, and it was all Cavazos there on the end of that touchdown run. I'm going to tell you what, he just backed his way into the end zone the last couple yards, and that's the first rushing touchdown of the night for him after he has thrown 3 touchdown passes.
Have yourself a game, Jacob Cavazos. Not a bad way to open the season. Weslaco, Panthers fans, this team looks good. They can always get better, as 8 false starts will tell you, but let's talk about the good stuff, because they are looking good right here. Coming from what did they have there? 3rd and 22 at one point?
And the extra point is good by Montgomery.
This is an old-fashioned whipping right here. The Weslaco Panthers are taking the Rowe Warriors behind the woodshed, and they're not sparing the lumber.
No.
Not at all.
So it is now 28-0, and I'm going to tell you what, Nikki Rowe's going to play hard. They're going to work hard. They've got a good coach, Coach Flores. But this is almost insurmountable to come back. I'm not saying it can't be done because they can throw the ball. They've got the receivers.
Listen, we know. Here's the great thing is that for Weslaco is that they have depth in the defense. They can keep guys fresh in there. They don't have to put anybody else in. They can take the guys who had twisted ankles. They can take them out of the game, and then you can start to put in some of your younger skill players, some of your guys who are just up from junior varsity. Give them some reps if you get the ball back on offense. You know, this is perfect for Weslaco. They're going to get some of their younger guys some reps.
Right.
And they're going to get some of their guys who are nicked up. They're going to get them some time on the sidelines.
Well,
they couldn't ask for anything more.
And I got to compliment the stadium. I'm a native of Chicago, and already in the second half I've heard September by Earth, Wind & Fire, a group from Chicago now, Let's Groove tonight. So
it's a beautiful thing.
Some good Earth, Wind & Fire, EWF.
Yes. This is from the album Rise.
Yeah, that's one thing you'll hear of. We both worked as disc jockeys in our early days in our career, so every once in a while, we remember this during Vipers games we did it. We'll talk a little bit about music, so we hope you enjoy it.
Maurice White.
Yes.
And the great Philip Bailey on vocals.
Yeah, and he had a big solo hit in the 80s. Remember Easy Lover did it with
Phil
Phil
Collins, of course.
But one of my favorites on that album was Walking on a Chinese Wall. Very, very, it was a minor hit. Okay, let's get back to football, and the kickoff is taken by Rowe, and they are going to take it down to the 45-yard line. That's some motivation for the team and the fans.
Yeah, Joey Ramirez making some good cuts there, taking it through the Weslaco special teams unit. But, you know.
And coach will probably show that too, saying, you know, we got the big lead, and all of a sudden you let this big play come on special teams. That's why, you know, Coach Salinas is a good coach. He'll be showing that stuff, not just all the touchdowns.
That's
in the film room.
That's right.
I mean, we don't want to see the team almost starting in midfield. Actually, at the 36 right now. Trips on the left, slot on the right, empty backfield. And there comes the pass by Jonas Ortiz, and it's incomplete around the 40.
Interesting on the sideline, Scott. I'm seeing the junior quarterback Devin Hanks warming up. Would not surprise me if we saw him take some snaps here in this fourth quarter. Jacob Cavazos has already done a lot. I don't think you can ask him to do much more than 3 touchdown passes and a touchdown run. Might as well give the youngster, the junior, give him some reps in there.
Again, same formation as the last play. Ortiz calls the signals, has pressure, steps up in the pocket. Now will decide to run the ball. He's up to the 40. He is over midfield before he is brought down, or almost to midfield at least. He's down near the 47-yard line.
Jonas Ortiz is tough to bring down. He's a rangy quarterback. He
got a first down on that play.
Once he gets a little momentum going, it's going to be tough to stop him.
They'll officially mark it at the 46, still in Warrior territory, first down and 10, but the clock is moving. It'll be under 8 minutes before we get the next playoff.
First down for the Warriors.
So we have a slot on the right, now in motion to the left, and the ball will be handed off to the running back, and he's going to be thrown for a 1 or 2 yard loss.
34,
Vasquez on the run. Now, Vasquez only rushed the ball like 3 times last year, I believe, according to my stats. So this is really his coming out party, and I think he's going to have a good year, but a rough start.
Yeah, it has been a rough start for Vasquez. Of course, his older brother, Hector Vasquez, one of the great running backs for Rowe in the past several years.
So it's going to be second down and 12, loss of 2 on that play. And this time, sweep, going around the left side, and going to midfield is the back. We'll try to catch the number in a moment.
That's number 21, so that's Ethan Ruiz.
Okay. All right, so he goes about 6 yards. Going to be third down and about 6. But again, the clock is running. This drive already has taken over a minute. Third down and 5. And you know, we know the defense wants a shutout for sure. I mean, you know the defensive coordinator and the defensive staff. But also, you know, if they run off a few minutes with this ball right now, that's also good in one sense. You want to get the clock down, though obviously you want your offense doing it, not your defense. That pass is complete, and the back will get down near the 35, pick up about 14. Ruben Salinas on the catch.
Down by number 44.
So another first down.
Yeah, Seth Sanchez making the tackle there.
Yeah, we expect a big year from him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coaches talk a lot about him.
He's shown why tonight, that's for certain. The guy's got some serious talent there in the middle of that defensive line.
All right.
You got Seth Sanchez and And Marco Noriega right there in the middle. You've got a nice little base to build your defense around.
Ortiz feels the pressure, and he is going to be almost sacked.
Yeah.
Can you catch the number out there?
Yeah, that's Jathan Gonzalez,
All right.
whose number we haven't called tonight.
Pass incomplete.
Pass was incomplete, obviously, but just about a sack. He got that off just moments away. Megaseconds, right? Microseconds?
I might have called the wrong number there.
Okay.
Well, no, I think that was Jathan Gonzalez.
Okay.
It sure was. Everybody was so worried about Seth Sanchez on the other side that Jathan got a clear shot.
I'm not sure.
Also down.
Some kind of penalty.
Block in the back, it looks like, and Nikki Rowe's not only going to get penalized, but they're going to lose it down. Oh, intentional grounding is the call. Okay.
All right. Well, yeah, he may have been in the grasp. I told you
Yep.
you got it microseconds away, right?
You're right.
And so I guess it wasn't really microseconds. Ball now at the 42, second down and 17.
Chain gang finally moves it from 1 to 2.
Ball is in Weslaco territory. Back at midfield, Ortiz will heave it downfield down to about the 10-yard line is where his receiver's at, but he's double teamed and it goes incomplete.
Fantastic play on defense by Gabriel Gonzalez playing cornerback back there.
And the receiver, intended receiver was Salinas.
Gonzalez puts his hands up. He looked back for the ball, saw where it was going to come, and then put his hands up. That's basically all he needed to do.
Don't be grabbing, right? And
Exactly
getting penalties.
right.
Down 17.
Exactly right, especially not when you're up 28-0 and you want that shutout.
He'll get a good mark on that play when they grade the defense.
Certainly will.
6:15, so we're almost to the midway point here of the fourth quarter. 3rd and 17 from the 42. Ortiz does get his receiver, but it's going to be well short of the first down as he's knocked down at the 40, 39, maybe gain of 3.
On the stop, number 8.
And on the stop,
Camarena.
Camarena again, Raul Camarena. Not much gain.
Who I believe has made more tackles since his twisted ankle than before.
Yeah, I think it was maybe Pena that was the receiver. Yeah, these players got their ankles taped up. 3 of them at least, right?
3 of them that I saw.
Yeah. And there is another pass. This time it is complete down to about the 25-yard line.
They're going to give it to him? Looks like they did.
Yeah, it's going to be close. They needed 13. So Salinas on the catch.
They might measure this one. It's going to be close.
Needed 13, and they were at the 38, got down to near the 25.
The result of the pass completion will be a Peter Piper Pizza first down.
All right.
Barely stayed inbounds to get that one.
So 1st and 10 at the 25.
They're
Clock
going to
run.
give him the first down.
Yeah.
All right.
25.
5:30 remaining here in the 4th.
Westcoast defense trying to get some
Right,
pride.
screenplay.
Keep that
And
shutout.
that ball is not going to go much at all. Loss of about 3 on the play.
Yeah, I got Lorenzo Lopez on the screen, but it was far enough back, and Weslaco has been closing in quicker and quicker all night long. Looks like we might have our first final of the night.
All
Looks
right.
like Edinburgh Economides has defeated PSG Southwest 7-0 tonight.
All right.
So there's your low-scoring game for you.
What was the score again?
7-0 final.
Well, we thought this game might be 7-0. That's what it was at the half, right?
That's right. That's right. Meanwhile, Edinburgh Vella's beating up on Laredo United 48-13. Rio Hondo has come back from being down 21-10. They're ahead 34-21 over Juarez.
Ortiz tries to get it toward the end zone. There's a flag.
Oh, nope.
No, there's going to be a flag.
Intended for number 27, Lorenzo Lopez.
It was intended for Lopez.
Matthew Calderon trying to come up with the interception there, but just goes through his hands. For Gabriel Gonzalez, I should say.
Now there's a flag, so we'll have to see. It would be 3rd down and 12. 4:44 left. But we'll have to see what the officials come up. There's problems with the mic. All right, half the distance to the goal, so it was obviously a
Pass
penalty
interference.
against the defense.
Looks like it.
All right.
There might have been lumber and flag
Well,
on the play.
The ball's going to go down to about the 19. So we'll have to see how the red zone defense does. How you like that? A
There you
little
go.
red zone defense practice.
15-yard mark-off.
15-yard mark off.
Automatic
Put it there.
first down for the Warriors.
Obviously an automatic first down. And we have trips on the right side, but Ortiz will keep it, and he is going to get inside the 15 where he goes out of bounds, pick up a 4 on first down.
Jonas Ortiz on
Smart
the
play by
quarterback.
Ortiz, gets a couple of yards, stops the clock. Not that it really matters at this
Yeah.
point,
No.
but he
Gain of
desperately
6
wants
on
to
the
get a
carry,
score.
brings up second down.
Matthew
4.
Calderon on the, by the way, on the drives him out of bounds, the cornerback.
People have been talking about this
Ball spotted
Row
on the Panthers
offense
13.
all off season, and for them to come up with a goose egg in their first game, Not something they want, but it's definitely something Weslaco would take pride in.
Slot on the left, trips on the right, empty backfield. There is a flag before the pass is gotten off. They will let him throw it, and it goes in the end zone, triple teamed with the receivers.
Axel Camarena trying to come away with the interception there, but there's a flag anyway.
We have a minor being umpire and flag on the play.
All right, we'll have to see what this is about. And again, do you think at this point, okay, holding.
Offsides on the defense. No penalties.
Okay, so
offset.
holding against the offense, offsides against the defense. Do you think at this point some of the penalties could be fatigue? I mean, it has been a hot day, and it's the first game of the year. You know, I think the teams in some ways have played real well. Obviously, I don't think all the offsides penalties earlier, the motion, whatever, that wasn't, I don't think, fatigue. That was just still trying to coordinate the offensive line.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. We're talking about for Weslaco. Okay.
But the other thing is you get yourself so excited for the first game of the year that sometimes that takes a lot out of it.
Good point. So running play down to the 9-yard line.
That's going to be a first down. It'll be first and goal for
Vasquez.
For Rowe.
Yeah, he needed 5. It got just about that. Was it the 14?
Down by 49.
And that time?
48. Benito Juarez. Will be first and goal
Benito Juarez, who had 3.5 sacks last year, defensive end, made the tackle.
Oh, somehow stayed up on his feet, did Lalo Vasquez.
Okay, Vasquez gets the ball, goes 4 yards for the score.
He was stopped at the 2-yard line and stopped cold, but he never let his legs stop and somehow made the spin move, got out of the defender's grasp, and was able to get in for the touchdown. What a tough touchdown for Lalo Vasquez.
Do you mind if I take a little time here while we have this break and go over our fine people that made this K-West production possible? We'll wait till after the extra point attempt. But there's a lot of people here working that you don't hear on the air. A lot of people, and you're going to hear them in a minute, their names. Okay, there's time out here.
To attempt the extra point.
I believe.
Jonathan
Velasquez. Sign's going to hold it. Jonathan Velasquez is going to try the extra point. Again, it's 4:09. 4:09 left here in the game before the first points were put on the board by Nikki Rowe. And here's the attempt. It's up, and it's good. So it is now 28-7. And let me go down the staff here. Obviously, Carlos Robledo, he's our director. We see him at the halftime, pregame, and postgame shows, along with the chief reporter for K-West, Michael Gonzalez, who, by the way, was very helpful to me today, telling me on some of the stuff that's been going on at Weslaco. And Darlene Gracia, our graphic artist, makes everything look real pretty on the TV. Making sure we can hear everything is Joe Liel, our audio technician.
Very important.
That's right. Mike Palacios now has taken over as chief videographer this year. It was nice meeting him, and I'm sure he's doing a great job tonight, making this look good. And then we have Don Ramirez, videographer, Val Zamora, videographer, and back at, not maybe working tonight, but giving us our rosters and getting everything together administratively is Mina Garcia, the K-West secretary, and the guy next to us, big wrestling fan, we talked about that tonight. He's hoping I still have a program from WrestleMania. I thought I might have an extra one, so I'll give it to him. And that, of course, is the one and only Vincent Vinny Berry, our videographer, and always a pleasure working next to him. So anything you want to add about our fine staff?
Well, I just want to say it's my first night working with this great staff, and it's been fantastic so far. It's been professional all the way around. They do a great job at K-West, and I'm happy to be on board.
And you've got some more things. You're going to do some volleyball?
Absolutely. I'll be doing volleyball home games for Weslaco and Weslaco East throughout the month of September, perhaps into October, not for sure yet. So I'll be on K-West a few more times, besides the times when I'm doing Weslaco Panthers football with you.
All right.
Onside kick went right off
onside quip, and Nikki Rowe is going to get it at about the 46-yard line of Weslaco. And the person that came up with it that time was Josiah Alonzo. We know him as a great linebacker, but this time makes his mark on special teams.
Yeah, it just bounced right off the shins of Jacob Bally. You can't ask for a better onside kick than that. That was...
So both teams have recovered an onside kick. Obviously, it was on the opening series of the game, and it was Denna winding up with an 8-yard touchdown pass. Let's see now if Rowe can capitalize on their onside kick recovery.
They're going to need to do it a little quicker than they did the last drive.
Thank you.
Yep. Both teams had a full complement of timeouts. Ortiz with the pass up the middle. Had a guy wide open. He split the defenders.
Ortiz sailed it over him, though. That was close to being an interception.
So incomplete. Second down and 10. I believe it was Pena, the intended receiver. So second down and 10, ball at the 46-yard line. Again, 4:03 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Now there is a whistle.
They're waiting for something, the referee crew is. I'm not sure.
I'm curious. If you see a Texans-Cowboys score tonight somewhere, it's an exhibition game, but I know we have a lot of Cowboys fans out there. If you see one, and you excellent with the internet. He's always bailed me out of internet stuff when we were doing Vipers games. I'd always ask him for weird scores. That's not a weird score, but he'd have to go find it, and he's always been good about broadcasting and being a multitasker. How do you like that? That's a modern term.
I'm trying to. I'll see what I can do there.
All right.
Rio Hondo now up 20 on Juarez Lincoln in the fourth quarter, 41-21. They were down, gosh, I want to say 11 points at one point.
Short gain on that run. So it's going to be at the 43, pickup of 3. And again, clock is running. Ortiz has the pass, puts it up downfield. Good defense, but there is a flag, and apparently there is going to be a penalty called. I thought the defense was good, but apparently not. And it's going to be Axel Camarena. He had an interception earlier today, but this time he'll get an interference call. So one thing you have to say about Nikki Rowe, they haven't given up.
They certainly haven't.
Number 8, defense. 15-yard penalty.
Oh.
First down.
15-yard penalty.
They called it on the other Camarena. I'm not sure if they got the number right, but they called it
right.
on Raul, not Axel.
Okay.
But let's see here.
Let's see.
Oh, it's a barn burner at NRG Stadium in Houston. Texans beating the Cowboys 7-3 in the fourth.
Of course, we know none of the starters are played tonight. So. But I'm just curious because, like I said, we have a lot of Cowboys and Texans fans too. Be fair about that.
I think what the Cowboys do have to worry about is the fact that they haven't scored a touchdown in their last 9 quarters.
Yeah, that is tough. Vasquez, the one who just scored the touchdown, goes up. Doesn't get much on that run up the middle. So it's going to be second down and 9. We'll call it maybe a yard.
Gain of 1 brings up second down.
Clock running. Under 3 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Ortiz takes the high snap. Looks to the right, has a receiver open. Gets it down to the 20, and he'll get another 5 yards on his own.
That's a receiver who was wide open. That kind of thing didn't happen in the first 3 quarters. Weslaco put a clamp down on all those Row Warrior receivers first 3 quarters, and that's one of the reasons why it was 28-0 for a while.
Right, that was Salinas, by the way, gained 15.
Yeah.
So it's first and 10, ball on the 15. Go ahead, Clint.
There's a chance that that the cornerback core for Weslaco getting a little tired out there.
Ortiz now looking toward the back of the end zone, has a receiver wide open, and it's a 15-yard touchdown pass.
Nope, they're going to say he was out of bounds.
Out of bounds. Okay,
juggle
the
ball.
ball.
He was juggling the ball as he went out.
David Savage was the intended receiver.
I'd like to see a replay on that. It looked to me like he came down with it, but the referee's a lot closer to it than I am, so I'm going to trust him.
We're looking at the big screen now here at the stadium. Ball's coming down. Yeah, no, I think he was maybe juggling it, maybe.
Well, I can't really tell from that angle. If it hit the ground out of bounds, then yeah, that's the right call.
All right, with the ball, Ortiz now looks on the left side, and we'll find a receiver down at the 10.
It's another
Salinas.
Camarena. That time it's Axel Camarena making a beautiful open field tackle right there after the catch. Looks like a timeout on the field.
All right. So that's going to be the first timeout here of the second half with 2:05 remaining. And what are your thoughts now going into the NFL and college football? Any thoughts as we're going to start a lot of college games this weekend?
Yeah, plenty of college games this weekend. My Oklahoma State Cowboys playing tonight. Texas A&M Aggies are playing tonight. Both teams they should easily beat. If either one of those teams don't win tonight, they're big upsets. But you know, it's going to be interesting seeing what the Aggies did for Jimbo Fisher, making him basically the highest paid coach in the history of college football. They wouldn't do that unless they thought they were going to get a national championship.
Well, he was offensive coordinator with LSU when they won the national championship. Nick Saban head coach, and of course, he won a national championship at Florida State.
Yeah, so he's got skins on the wall. But, it's going to be interesting to see. I don't think the Aggies are going to expect too much from him in his first year, but they're going to expect progress. So that's one of the things I'm looking for. Another thing, I want to see what Oklahoma does. One of my family friends are Joby and Rod Anderson, and their son Rodney Anderson is going to be up for the Heisman Trophy this year, running back for Oklahoma. But they, of course, will have a new quarterback under center. Oklahoma will.
Yeah,
that's a free play for
and the pass is incomplete.
No, it is not complete.
No, incomplete. I'm saying
incomplete.
That's
absolutely.
Yeah. David Savage, again, the intended receiver, looks like he's shaken up.
Yeah, he went right down on that ball. Might have hit him right in the
I do want to ask you something. Of course, there's a young man that didn't he play at Hidalgo for 1 year or somewhere. Now he's a starting quarterback at Michigan. I know you've been covering football a long time.
Absolutely.
Talk about that.
Yeah, Shea Patterson never actually played high school ball for Hidalgo. Got all the way to 8th grade in Hidalgo and was looked upon to, be possibly one of the greatest high school quarterbacks that the Valley has ever seen. But instead, he went off. I'm trying to remember. He went to, I think, Shreveport to the big Catholic school powerhouse there in Shreveport for 1 year, which I believe was
Evangel,
exactly.
Yeah, I'm a Louisiana guy, so I knew that.
But then after that, actually went to the IMG Academy in Florida, where basically kids are just training to be pros.
Savage, by the way, just got up. It was maybe just like you said, his breadbasket.
Yeah.
Wind knocked out.
Defense. 5-yard penalty.
Okay, 5-yard penalty against the defense.
5-yard penalty against Jesse Ramos. Interesting. But from there, Shea Patterson went to Ole Miss 2 years. But when he was recruited there by Hugh Freeze did not let him in on all the NCAA sanctions that were going to come down on the team. Once they came down, NCAA said, all right, Shea, you can go where you want. Jim Harbaugh said, come up here. And so he will be the starting quarterback for the Michigan Wolverines.
First and goal to go with the 5, and then it is given off to Vasquez, and he gets about a 5-yard loss. They were ready for him in the backfield.
They certainly were. Good goal line defense by this Weslaco team.
So they called a 4-yard loss, second to go from the 9.
Under 2 minutes to play. But yeah, it'll be great to watch Michigan, the Maize and Blue, have a quarterback who once upon a time plied his trade just south of here in Hidalgo, Texas.
Another timeout on the field. And, of course, I'm going up to see the Cowboys home for the first time ever this Sunday. I'm going to cover a game actually for CBS Sports Radio on Saturday, Texas Tech and Ole Miss up at NRG, 11 a.m. kickoff. And then I am going to go up, and for the first time I'm going to see Miami, which is supposed to be a very highly ranked team this year. The former coach of Georgia, Mark Richt, is there.
Right.
And going against LSU, we'll see if Ed Ogeron can at all compete. I think in some polls LSU is 25. Isn't Miami about 4? And so we'll see if they can at all compete against them on Sunday. But you never know. Like I said, a lot of people in the Valley predicted Weslaco to lose tonight. And obviously they're going to, hopefully, if you're a Weslaco fan, go on to a victory. I don't ever like to do, what is it, like elections. What's the word they say when you say the projections say someone's going to win?
That's right.
I don't like to do that at a high school level, but odds on.
We're not going to call the race.
Yeah, call the race, but odds on you would say the Panthers are going to win. So, all right. We see again, it's going to be 2nd down and 9 following the timeout. Ortiz has it, rolls to his right. Good defense, throws it toward the back of the end zone. It looks like it was broken up there by a defender, and we'll see who it was.
Looks like Adam Echeverria.
Yeah.
Was Johnny on the spot there, making a really good play. There was a couple of Weslaco defenders there. Like I said, this Weslaco defense has been the star of the game.
Swarming, right?
Yeah, they've been fantastic all game long.
Yeah.
That is, that's Echeverria.
Right.
Made the play right there. Raul Camarena also on the coverage.
And I think, you're. There he is. You're right. He did do a good play. Okay, so we have 3rd down and 9. 3rd down and 9. And now, there's going to be a big sack. Big sack back to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, and this time it was Raul Camarena. Nobody blocked him coming off the right side. I'm not sure, call that a safety blitz.
And Axel was right there with him, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you say that Axel rose to the occasion?
I would say that if I had any shame, but
if you're a rock and roll and no Guns N' Roses are, you might appreciate that little pun, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
But he wasn't even blocked. Raul Camarena wasn't when he made the play there.
All right, another pass attempt, and this time the defender's there. He may intercept it. He got ahead of the receiver, and it is going to be Weslaco's ball, and the receiver, actually the defender, is going to be down now at the 37-yard line. Let's see if we can pick it up.
That's Jaden Knab,
Okay.
who came up with a big interception.
Is he related
there.
to Peyton? I'll double check that.
I'm pretty sure he
Yeah,
is.
I would think he is.
I'm pretty sure he is.
I wanted to check that, and I forgot to do that. I talked about the Cavazos today before the game. They're not related, but
Yeah, beautiful play. That ball hung up there for so long that Jaden Knab was able to easily get in front of the receiver, pick it off, and make a great run back all the way.
that's twice today we've seen the ball thrown up and then no receiver around, or
Well, there was a receiver.
Well, there was.
there
You're
this
right
time,
on that
but
one.
This one hung up there
He
for
hung up
so
there, yeah.
long that take a look at the big
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah, you're
you can
right.
see that he just jumped right in front of him. Saw that one.
All right.
Jaden Knab making a great run back after the
Now, the
interception.
Warriors have one timeout left. Obviously, the Panthers aren't using any of their 3. I guess, do you go into the victory formation now with 49 seconds left?
Absolutely you do. And
Yeah, there he is. He's going to put the knee down. So moments away from this being over. Again, 3 touchdown passes by Cavazos, 8 yards to Denna. Also a 35-yard pass that was good. And I'm sorry. I'm trying
let's see. One to Jaden Cavazos.
Yeah, Cavazos. Jaden was 35, 25-yard screen to Knab, and then I don't forget what it was, the run exactly, but it was
about
also
a 10 or 12
yeah,
bubble screen.
Maybe 14-yard run right by, I'm talking about the 1-2 when Cavazos ran it in.
Right, exactly.
So he had 3 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. That sums up this. And the last knee of the game. The final score will be the Panthers over the Warriors 28-7. Obviously, the Panthers go 1-0. Warriors go 0-1. Panthers next week are at home 7 o'clock on Thursday against Ed Koch Elsa, right?
Ed Koch Elsa tonight, a 38-0 loser in Corpus Christi, taking on the Veterans Memorial Eagles. So
Yeah.
Ed Koch Elsa has yet to score a touchdown this year. They're going to come in looking to do something against a Mid-Valley rival like Weslaco. Ed Koch Elsa and Weslaco, they're great neighbors, but great neighbors also make great rivals.
And Lalo Vasquez, 4-yard run for the Warriors in the 4th quarter. Their only points of the night. So again, 28-7, we'll wrap this up. Any final words, Clay?
Just another upset out in Brownsville. Brownsville-Hanna 49, McAllen Memorial 28. So not a good night for the McAllen teams.
Right. And next week, going to Mercedes, I believe Friday night, is going to be Nikki Rowe. So that wraps it up, 28-7. It is the final score. And again, it is the Weslaco Panthers over the Nikki Rowe Warriors. We were in McAllen Veterans Memorial Stadium at DQ Fan Field. For Clay Williams, I'm Scott Harrison. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next Thursday night. Thanks to everybody. And this has been a K-West production.